Hey, what's happening in San Diego? And welcome in to Gwynn and Chris. Almost a full edition of the program. Go figure, Skraby. We got almost 4 hours, about 3 hours and 15 minutes worth today. Looking forward to it here, hanging out with you until 6 o'clock. No Padre roundtable this week because the Padres were in action today. You may have seen they beat the Cincinnati Reds 6-4. A 10-inning victory for the Friars, who finish up the road trip at 5-2. Very successful road trip. And the Padres will come home a game over 500, back over the 500 mark, and get set now to host the New York Yankees. I'll be honest with you, Skraby, I'm in a pretty good Padre mood today after the game today.
Good.
I thought Matt Waldron pitched a gutty 5 innings. I mean, that thing could have gotten completely away from him in the first 2 innings. I mean, there was all kinds of traffic, bases loaded, runners everywhere. He's walking guys. Couldn't really control the knuckleball, but he made some big pitches. And that's a sign of a pitcher who I think is improving. And, instead of the Padres being behind 6-4 or something after the second inning, they were still ahead 4-2. And then Waldron settled in and got into the 6th inning there, or got through 5. The bullpen, had its, I think they had a 14 and a third inning scoreless streak going into the game, got snapped on the home run. But, did the Padres discover, or have they located an 8th inning guy, or what?
Yes, they have.
Jeremiah Estrada is clearly the setup guy now for Robert Suarez. Apologies to Wandy Peralta and to anybody else who would like to pitch the 8th inning ahead of Robert Suarez. That has now got to be Jeremiah Estrada time. I mean, he struck out 5 in a row.
I believe he did,
over 2 innings, and got the win in relief. Of course, he did have a save earlier on the road trip in Atlanta when Mike Schilt flip-flopped and brought Suarez in the 8th inning. And, Suarez gets the save today. You brought up I saw your tweet after that game in which Estrada got the save.
Oh, yes.
And it was a good tweet because, not a lot of closers – not thinking of the guy that worked here last year, but maybe you are out there. Not a lot of closers would like to be brought in the 8th inning and give their save opportunity to somebody else.
True.
But Robert Suarez, you need me in the 8th inning, I'll pitch the 8th inning. You need me to pitch yesterday with a 4-run lead when I can't get a save? Bring me in. This is what's been great about Robert Suarez. Even better than the 14 for 14 is his just ability to come into the game whenever Mike Schilt wants him to and do the job and get it done, regardless of what's required.
Listen,
sometimes you got a 1-run lead. I mean, today basically you have a 1-run lead. I know it's a 2-run lead, but don't forget they start with a runner at second base. So you really have very little room for error. And, the guy that started the inning at second base for the Reds stayed there. Mm-hmm. He never went anywhere.
Yeah.
And, so Suarez, he's got 14 out of 14. I don't know how many of those have been the easy up by 3-run variety. Most of them have been a run or 2 runs or a 4-out or a 5-out save, whatever they need. And, like I said yesterday, they felt like, let's just close with him. We're up by 4, but we don't want to mess around. They say go out there and end the ball game. You can't get a save. They can't put a statistic on your record. This isn't going to help you make any more money in arbitration. But it is going to help us win a game. And that's what Suarez does. He just goes and does it.
What do you think?
Couldn't be happier about this guy.
Part of his philosophy, Robert Suarez, I'm talking about, do you think is because he's already got his contract? So he's like, hey, I need to
I don't think. I'm hoping, those kinds of things aren't necessarily thought about. I just think he goes out and loves to pitch and help his team win games.
And he said that, too. Like, I don't care where I pitch as long as it helps them win.
Yeah.
And he means it.
You can say he's got his contract, so he's comfortable with it, and maybe Josh Hader didn't have his contract, and so he needed to. Yeah, to me, that's just an excuse. Honestly, for Josh Hader, and I'm not here to, pick on Josh Hader anymore. He's long gone now.
Yeah,
and we're happy with what we have.
Yes,
but I think if you're a certain type of person, you're Suarez, you just go out and pitch and do what you're asked to do, and you help your team win ball games. I know a lot of fans would like to think, like last year, how many times did you hear it? Well, Jay Cronenworth's got his money now. He made his contract. He got his big contract, so he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Well, he did have a bad year. I'm not going to argue that. But anybody thinks that Jay Cronenworth just, went on vacation once he got his contract, obviously didn't pay attention to the kind of work he was putting in this offseason to make sure that last season didn't happen again.
Yeah, he wanted to live up to his deal, which started this year.
Right, but I mean, my point is a lot of people gave up on him last year. Said, well, you shouldn't have given him all the money. Now he's a fat cat, and he's just. I mean, that's ridiculous.
He's a fat cat.
That's ridiculous. I mean, Cronenworth works harder than anybody, and this year he's come back, bounced back nicely, and so. I mean, this notion that guys, maybe there's some guys in baseball and in basketball, football, whatever it is, that once they get their contract, they feel like they've made it and they relax. But I don't think too many of them do. I really don't. And I'm talking about all athletes in all sports. Why? Because for the most part, these guys want to go out and do a good job.
Yeah,
they're playing on TV every
Yeah.
night. They're playing in front of 40,000 people every night. They don't want to go out there and fail.
They don't want to embarrass themselves. They want to go down. And
Exactly.
They don't want to be the guy that fans point to as the guy who didn't work out.
I would think so. So, I got to think most guys think this way. And, we tend to pay attention maybe to the guys that don't. But Robert Suarez, man, not only is he 14-14, the whole thing, 0.40 ERA, but I mean, he's just doing whatever. He's been in 22 games. That means there's 8 games he's pitched in this year that he hasn't got a save.
Good point.
That he's, just done what he needs to try to do to help you win a game. I think he picked up a win or two along the way. But, not every time he goes out there, he's going out there, to earn more money. He's going out there to help you win the game. I really appreciate that from Suarez. And he's been a real breath of fresh air. Now, the other guy that you got to talk about after today's game, is there any wonder why both Tony and I loved Luis Arise 2 years before he ever got here?
It makes a much bigger impact to me that he's on this team now, because I didn't realize that he does get a ton of hits.
He does things that very few guys in the game today do, and that is put the bat on the ball, hit a line drive somewhere, and help you win games and get on base and hit for batting average and hit doubles. Ran into one last night, hit a home run. I mean, he gets his second consecutive 4-hit game today. And you can talk about, the singles, the doubles, the line drives. It was his willingness to drop that bunt down in the 10th inning. And basically, he was bunting for a hit there. But it was also a smart play, because if he was out, if the pitcher makes a great play, scoops the ball, and is able to get him, he still moves the runner to third, sets up the go-ahead run. So, I mean, this is another guy that is playing for one reason in my mind, and that is to help you win the ball game. I couldn't love watching this guy any more than I do.
He's reinvigorated now that he's on a team that has a chance.
I mean, I knew I liked this guy, like I said, before he got here, because, most everybody plays baseball now to put up the big power numbers. Chicks dig the long ball. I don't know that they still have that.
Like the fastball.
I don't think they still have that commercial out anymore. Remember that old commercial with the chicks dig the long ball?
It's a great commercial.
But everything's slugging. Everything's OPS. Not to Luis Arise. It is, give me a pitch. Has anybody other than me noticed that when he comes to the plate, he glances all around the field?
I've noticed.
Have you seen him do that?
Yep. He's looking for a spot.
He's looking for an opening to hit the ball. I love this. I don't know any other player. You watch every other player in baseball come to bat. They're staring at the pitcher, and they're getting ready for the pitch. I don't see anybody looking around the field to see, where there's an opening. Because why?
Why?
Because nobody's good enough to control their bat and hit it where that opening is.
It reminds me of the Water Boy, where they're looking in the onside kick. They're looking for that one guy. He's just scanning it.
I love this guy. He's got to be hitting over 400 now since he joined the Padres. He was at 350 a couple of days ago, and he just had 10 hits in this series.
Jesse Agler had a great tweet. Let me get to it before we head to break. He said, for the road trip, Luis Arias went 8 for 19 in Atlanta, 10 for 14 in Cincinnati, 18 for 33 in 7 games.
Yeah, here's what he is with the Padres now. I got it here. 17 games, 31 hits. He's hitting 419 as a Padre. Welcome back.
It gave me chills a little bit.
Welcome
because it
back
never happens this way, Chris.
to the ghost of Tony Gwynn. Luis Arias.
Can we talk about this on the other side? Because I didn't really get to see Tony Gwynn play much. Let's talk.
This is the kind of stuff he did consistently. We'll pick it up when we return. Glad you're with us on Gwynn and Chris. Welcome back at you, Gwynn and Chris. Kicking off the second hour of, we had a brief 15-minute first hour.
Yes, we did.
Padres game went a little long today, but it was worth the wait. Padres knock off the Cincinnati Reds 6-4 today. Padres came through. Not only did they win the game, Skrabe, with 2 in the 10th, got those 2 runs against a left-handed pitcher. Alert the media.
That is
the Padres finally came through against a lefty, Fernando Tatis Jr., with the go-ahead RBI double for Fernando, his 3rd RBI this season off a left-handed pitcher. But better late than never.
Yeah.
Came at a good time.
Pick it up now.
Jake Cronenworth followed with a sac fly. Padres got the 2 runs. That was plenty for Robert Suarez. We left off the conversation, though, on Luis Arraez and just the amazing run he's on right now. 10 hits in this series, back-to-back 4-hit games. You know how many times the great Tony Gwynn had back-to-back 4-hit games?
I think I'm cheating because I heard this on with Jesse and Tony once.
Once.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did it once. And Luis Arraez has now done it once.
Last time it happened?
John Jay. Yeah, John Jay. They were big on that stat. I think it was in 2016. John Jay wasn't quite the hitter that Luis Arraez is, though.
No.
I hate to tell you. This guy, line drives down the right field line, line drives the left center, pulling the ball through the hole, 5.5 hole the other way. I mean, it's terrific. And, he's the catalyst right now for the Padres. And, they put him on first base today, moved Jake to second. Good move by Mike Schilt. Arraez is a great hitter. He's not a great fielder.
Do you think that's something that they should be doing while Xander Bogaerts is out? This is their new thing.
Yeah, they're going to stay with this. There's no way there's no reason to switch back that I can see. Jake is a far superior, middle infielder to Arraez.
Yeah.
And, just making that move might have won the game today. Jake, cuts off that throw through on the double steal early in the ball game, throws out the runner at the plate. Manny threw out a runner at the plate today.
Yes,
and the runner he threw out was Ellie De La Cruz, which is
not easy.
Not easy to do. So those 2 defensive plays may have helped save the ball game, kind of helped make up for a couple of base running blunders by the Padres today.
Yeah, that base running blunder at the end was a little bit much.
Again, see, here's the difference. And Hassan Kim, he was trying to make a play there. And he got caught. He's on second base with 1 out. He's trying to get to third where he can score on a fly ball and give the Padres the lead. And he just took off a fraction of a second too early, and Diaz caught him, turned around and threw. And to me, that's trying to make a play. And so that to me isn't a blunder. You didn't want to see him get picked off there, but I understand what he was trying to do. He's trying to get the third. He's trying to be aggressive. He had stolen third earlier in the game. He figured, he could get there again. But, Diaz, made a good play and got him. The other play early in the ball game where Manny gets thrown out trying to get the third, on that one, you have to be 100% sure the ball is far enough away from the catcher.
Yeah.
You can't get caught for the last out of the inning at third base. We've talked about this is an old baseball axiom.
We've
Manny
seen that
knows
twice
it.
now.
Manny knows that
from Ellie De La Cruz.
So, that was to me that was a mistake. The Hassan Kim thing looked bad because it took the potential go-ahead run off second base there. But I think he was trying to make a play, and I don't mind trying to make a play and you get thrown out. I don't like base running plays that aren't the smartest. I think there's a difference in that regard.
Real quick, because we did say before the break we would talk about Luis Arraez and how watching Tony Gwynn might be the same thing. What do you think? Do you think they're pretty similar? Basically what I see is Luis Arraez on base every time I look up.
Yeah, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
That's a funny thing about Arraez is the notion is that, he's just a singles hitter. He doesn't hit for power, doesn't, hit too many doubles and triples. But who doesn't root for a guy to be on base every single time they're up?
Yeah.
To me, that's a really good thing. And this guy's been on base 45% of the time since the Padres have got him. 45%. He's got a 962 OPS with the Padres. That's without hitting for, power. He just gets on base that much. I don't see how that hurts your team. Again, Tony Jr., if he said it's okay to make a comparison, then I say we can make a little comparison, right? And
true. If he signs off, we can.
If it's
sign
okay
off.
with Tony, it's okay with me. It's not the same. I mean, I just think, Tony Gwynn was, maybe the greatest bat control guy I've ever, been able to see. The only other guy that I compare to Tony was Rod Carew, who was a little even before that, played for the Twins and then the Angels. I mean, Rod Carew used to just lay out base hits to left field in his sleep. But, Arise is, he's to me, he's just really fun to watch in his own right. I don't need to make a comparison to Tony to enjoy Luis Arise. So I'm going to leave it at that. If he does it for another 15 years and they start thinking about putting him in the Hall of Fame, then we can start, maybe making comparisons. But, for what he is, which is just an amazing, line drive machine that gets on base every single time practically. Now, I'm glad he's on this ball club. And that I don't watch too many baseball games live.
Yes.
Right? You've been through my I today, for example, I DVR the game and then I start watching it about an hour and a half after it actually starts.
It was still in the third inning at that
point. I know, but today it was. But and then I kind of fast forward through a lot of stuff and the commercials and some of the nuances and like when Jonathan India comes up, I don't really have to watch him.
Oh, you're not watching his every pitch?
Not
of
really,
that?
no. I just kind of. But when Arise is up, I stop the DVR and I watch this guy hit. I mean, it's worth it to me to watch every at bat, and that's why I say I see him get into the batter's box and look around the field, as if to say,
He's also got a slight.
Where am I going to hit the ball here?
He has also got a slight, and I hate to compare him to someone else because he's his own guy, a slight Soto shuffle.
A little bit, yeah.
He does. We all knew about Luis Arise, but until they come to your team and you watch them on a daily basis, you don't really appreciate how good they are.
Well, we're lucky to have him. I'm so glad we have him. I can't name one guy they traded for him. I know they traded a bunch of guys, but.
Jacob Marcy?
Let them go. I hope they all have great, wonderful careers with the Marlins. I'm ecstatic to have Arise here in San Diego. It's a good road trip. It's 5-2. If you were with us the last couple of days, I went on and on about how they can't hit lefties. We'll pick this up tomorrow because a lefty is starting tomorrow.
Is it Rodon
against
tomorrow?
them? Carlos Rodon. They have been shut out. In 4 of the last 5 games, they faced lefty starters. That's bad. But, for now, I'm going to leave it be. They had 2 right-handed starters the last 2 days. They had 14 hits yesterday, and they were in double figures again today. So, you bring me a righty, this team can hit. I can't explain it. Let's hope it changes, and let's hope it changes starting tomorrow night. Because the one thing, I really want from this team, and I've been saying it for 3 weeks now, is a little bit of a run to get away from the 500 mark, and that's 10 out of 12, 9 out of 11, something that puts me 6, 7, 8 games over 500. I believe this team is good enough to do that. We just haven't seen it yet, and they go up, they go down, they go up, they go down. It gets a little frustrating. Let's see if maybe this homestand they can put something together. I'm certainly not scared of the Yankees. I know they're having a really nice season. They won again today. They shut out the Mariners 5-0. Soto's having an incredible season. Hit 2 home runs yesterday. I know he's got 13 now. He's got a better OPS than Jurickson Profar. So, that's where Soto is. He's way up there around 1,000 like he always is. And, sure, we miss him, but he's not here anymore. Not really worried about it. I wonder what kind of response he's going to get in town tomorrow night. If you guys weren't willing to boo Will Smith after the crap he said about Profar, are you really going to boo Juan Soto? I have a feeling you are.
I've been trying to think of reasons why people would boo him, and the only reason I would boo him is because we never saw this level of production while he was here in San Diego, but I can't boo him for that. I can't. As much as I don't like it, I've let it go, Chris.
Well, I don't think everybody has. For some reason, whatever the reason might be, I mean, look, this is coming from a person. I'm not a fan of Soto. He's not my kind of player. He's not my kind of guy. But if you're going to boo him because you blame what happened last year solely on Juan Soto.
Oh, that's not true.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
That's basically stupid. So, I don't know what else I can tell you about that. It'll be interesting to see what kind of response he gets here this weekend. But it'll be fun to see the Yankees. I'm not worried about the Yankees.
I'm not either because they're a winning team.
The Padres have already taken 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers twice. They've taken 3 out of 4 from the Braves. They've taken 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee. They've been beating first-place teams all year long.
Where has that occurred, though, Chris?
All of that on the road?
Yeah, the home thing is still a problem.
Well, they did take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers here.
But then they got swept.
Then they got swept by the Rockies.
And the Rockies series, I'm just gonna. I can't explain it, but I'm just gonna chalk it up to one of those series, I guess.
Well,
because now they're back on track.
The crazy thing is the Padres have 10 wins this year over first place teams, but they have 9 losses to last place teams. So, in a lot of ways, right, that kind of cancels each other out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that's why they're 500. And, they're not going to get the 9 out of 11 I'm talking about, or the big streak that gets them 6 or 7 games over. They're not going to get that until they can find a way to score some runs against a left-handed pitcher, because the odds are it's not going to line up where you only have to face righties for like 3 straight weeks.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure it out.
They're going to have to figure this out. And hopefully it starts tomorrow night against Carlos Rodon.
I tweeted this, and I was half joking, but on Tuesday when they got shut out 2-0 by the Reds, that I chalked that one up to a terrible travel schedule and playing a doubleheader on Monday.
Yeah, but if you start chalking up losses, every loss to something.
I'm making excuses.
Yeah, you're gonna.
But that is a good excuse because
it's an okay excuse, but
they came out swinging the next day and they won today.
Yeah, well, to me, 4 out of 5 shutouts against lefty starters trumps them being tired the other day against a lefty starter. They got to go out tomorrow night and they got to get 9 or 10 hits, put 6 or 7 runs up there, and get out of this funk against lefties. We'll see if they can do it starting tomorrow night, but they did win today. Before we move on from today's game, tip of the cap to David Peralta.
Yeah.
Right? He comes in, gets 3 hits today. It's his second start. He had an RBI yesterday. Now, unfortunately, he's a left-handed bat that's not going to help you against left-handed pitching. But, it's
what are
nice
his
to
splits, do you know?
I don't know. His career splits, I could look them up, but I don't believe David Peralta is a great hitter against left-handers. Left-handers. As a matter of fact, I don't think we'll even get a chance to find out, because I'm almost positive that Solano will be in there tomorrow night.
Yes.
And Peralta will be on the bench tomorrow night.
He hits
career, you're looking this up?
241 in his career against lefties.
Well,
that's not terrible.
Not horrible.
But his OPS is 663.
No, he's not going to be in there tomorrow. I'm sure Solano will be in there.
Should we give a little bit
Get
of
an
credit
extra right-handed bat
to A.J. Preller as well, because he's brought in some veteran bench pieces that have worked out so far.
I don't know. If we give too much credit to A.J. Preller, then people will think we're shilling for the ball club.
I will shill for A.J. Preller right now because he deserves a little bit of credit. I will shill for him when he brings in guys like Dylan Cease, Luis Ariz, and then
your check is in the mail, my friend. Your check is in the mail.
I wish there was a check in the mail.
Look, they're going to go the entire career of A.J. Preller, but I think there's been more good than bad.
Right now, yes.
And, like I said, he's picked up Cease, he's picked up Ariz. Peralta and Solano haven't hurt the ball club.
Suarez a couple years ago.
All right.
I'll
We'll
chill
do our
all day, Chris.
AJ conversation a little bit later.
Okay.
We got a daily gambit to get to next. NBA playoffs, Stanley Cup is rolling along. Find out what else is happening in the world of sports on this Thursday. Padres over the Reds, 6-4 the final. Gwynn and Chris coming back with more after some traffic, I believe, here on your favorite station, 97.3 The Fan.
From the
All right, welcome back. Gwynn and Chris, Crisello, Matt Skraby today in the Odyssey Palace Studios. Of course, Tony Gwynn Jr. is with the Padres. They're traveling back from Cincinnati where they beat the Reds. A 10-inning affair earlier today, 6-4. Padres wind up 5-2 on the road trip, come back home, a game over 500. And at least for one day, I'm not going to pick on them for not being able to beat left-handed pitching. We'll talk more about that tomorrow when they have to face a left-handed pitcher. But the last 2 days, right-handed starters, and the Padres brought out the bats. None more so than Luis Arraez, who had 4 hits yesterday, backed it up with 4 more today. I think the only other Padres that have done it, John Jay, you mentioned, was the last guy.
Yep.
I saw Reggie Sanders on that list.
Cameron Maben.
Cameron Maben was on that list, and Tony Gwynn, who only did it once. That's how hard that is to do.
That is very difficult to do.
Yeah. How about this? Luis Arraez has multiple hits in 8 straight games.
I think he has an on-base streak as well.
That's absurd. So, and he's not just getting 1 hit a night, getting at least 2 in 8 consecutive games. I don't know what Tony's record was for that.
Getting multiple hits?
Tony
Gwynn Jr.?
Tony Gwynn Sr.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tony Gwynn Jr., as much as we love him, I would hasten to say that he never had a streak of 8 straight with multiple hits. His dad may have done that.
I'm going to try to look that up real quick.
You know, the one thing about, we've talked about this before with Tony Sr., great as he was, longest hitting streak he ever had was 25 games. You would think somebody as great as Tony Gwynn would have at least made it to the 30s or something, but he never did.
Pretty good.
25's good. Who holds the Padre record for longest hitting streak?
I know this through Chris vs. the Fans, Roberto Alomar.
That's not correct.
Wait, not Roberto Alomar.
You're getting your guys mixed up.
Oh, gosh.
Benito
yes,
Santiago.
That's right.
Yes, in his rookie season.
He
did it in his rookie season, Benito. I think it was 37 in a row.
Who did who I said play for?
Roberto, he played for the Padres for a little bit.
Okay.
And then went on to much greatness with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Okay.
All right. Padres, we'll talk more about that, of course, as the program goes along. We got a sport court coming up for you. We'll settle everybody's problems. Chris versus the Fans, as you just mentioned it, it's coming up in its regular spot slot at 4 o'clock. Big 5. But right now it's Daily Gambit. What's going on in the world of sports?
Money.
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. And we don't really have any bets to review. I have one betting story. I'm still, if I get this update on Tony Gwynn and his multi-hit game streak, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
But first, join the biggest moments in sports with Prize Picks. Pick your players, pick your stats, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. So it's popped up on my phone today, and I thought it was kind of interesting. The Bears. The Chicago Bears had the number 1 overall pick in the draft. They took Caleb Williams from USC with the first overall pick, but bettors don't care, Chris, because they're still betting on the Bears to miss the playoffs.
I would do that as well. They're in a very tough division.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, you've got the Detroit Lions, who are, maybe going to be, along with the Niners, the favorites in the NFC. You've got the Packers, who are, right there. You still got the Vikings, although I think, Kevin O'Connell's going to have his work cut out for him now,
yes,
the quarterback situation. But, yeah, I don't think Caleb Williams. I mean, how many rookies come in and lead their team to the playoffs unless your name happens to be the kid for Houston? C.J. Stroud.
And Ben Roethlisberger, I guess.
Roethlisberger did it, but not too often.
Not often.
Not often. So, yeah, I'd probably bet against the Bears.
I think Brock Purdy maybe, too. Let his team to the playoffs.
A little different situation. Took over in midseason. The team was already doing quite well.
I think Bears fans are. I talked to a Bears fan over the weekend who's from there, and I think they're expecting a terrible season, even though that they have all these.
Well,
they don't like the coaching staff.
No, not too many people do. If they get to the 500 mark, I think it would be successful.
Me
Dan
too.
Marino also led the Dolphins to the playoffs in his first season, and then he flamed out in the first round. All right, let's get to the Daily Gambit. Let's start with the NBA playoffs. Tonight it's Game 2 between the Celtics and the Pacers. Yes, somebody's please explain and tell ESPN that the other team playing is the Pacers.
Man, I heard that you had some huge rant yesterday that I missed.
Well, I mean, ESPN just totally basically negating the fact that the Pacers are there. I mean, first, their homer coverage of the Knicks was embarrassing. Flat out embarrassing. Between Stephen A. Smith and, everybody cheering and rooting for the Knicks, basically outwardly rooting for the Knicks, and Mike Breen, who's the play-by-play guy of the Knicks, it was bad in that last series. And now you can ESPN wants the Celtics to win so badly. I thought it was one-sided broadcast again the other night.
Interesting, because we have a Big Five question.
Okay, we'll get into that. But tonight the Celtics are favored by 9 in Game 2. What do you like? Celtics won in overtime in Game 1, if you recall.
I'm not going to go with the Celtics.
You can go with Indiana here.
Yeah, because the Celtics, every time I pick them, they do the wrong thing.
I'm going to go with the Celtics tonight. They're due to have one of those nights where they make every three. I thought Indiana blew a big opportunity the other night. I mean, they had that game. And you know what? If the Celtics aren't playing well tonight, they've still got the refs.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to talk about that? 23 foul shots to 3?
Well,
in regulation play the other night?
How many were submitted as
I don't know
by the team?
I said this yesterday. I ripped Rick Carlisle all over, up one side and down the other, for complaining after the Knicks series. But after watching Game 1, I almost am buying into what he's selling now, because it was really bad.
All right,
really bad. I mean, they showed a lot of replays of fouls that were missed against Halliburton and things like that were obvious, shooting fouls. And
so you thought there may have been a little bit of
No, I don't. I can't believe that the NBA would be flat out cheating. I can't believe that. But I can believe that ESPN is rooting like hell for Boston. That I can believe. Over-under tonight is 225 points. They'll go over.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Celtics, again, are going to be hitting all their threes. They're due for one of those explosions. Indiana will keep up with them a little bit. 225. They got 261 the other night in overtime. What do you like here?
I'm going to say combined shooting percentage, field goal percentage for the team's 38%, so under.
Combined shooting percentage, 38%. I don't know how you arrive at that.
Because the Pacers were on fire the first 2 games. They can't keep shooting like that.
Well, there's only been one game of this series,
okay,
but you mean the last 2 games.
The last 2 games.
They had the Game 7 historic game against the Knicks.
That was incredible.
Tyrese Halliburton, 18.5 points tonight, Skraby.
18.5.
He normally makes at least 6 threes, so that's 18 right there.
I'm going to say the fouls are going to be called, and I'll say over.
They're going to call them tonight. He'll go over, trying to keep up with the Celtics.
Okay.
NHL, Stanley Cup playoffs. There's one city left that has a chance to pull off the unprecedented NBA, NHL double.
I don't know.
Winning both championships in the same year. It's never been done.
I don't know if the Bruins are still in it.
They're not, but the Dallas Stars are.
Oh.
And, of course, so are the Dallas Mavericks. So Dallas could pull off the double. Tonight, the Stars open up the Western Conference Finals as 1.5-goal favorites over your Edmonton Oilers. Skraby, I know you've been wearing your Oiler jersey here lately.
Every single day.
I'll go. Dallas has been having a lot of luck of late. I'm going to take Edmonton in this one.
All right.
Game
I'm gonna
1.
go with Dallas then.
You can go with Dallas just to spite me.
Winning by 2 is not very comfortable, but I'll do it.
All right. Well, they could be up by 1 and the old empty net goal.
I do like empty net
goals. Which gets you put up by 2.
Especially when I have bets.
Game 1 of that series in Dallas tonight. And then we got one baseball game this evening. Baltimore Orioles had an amazing streak snapped yesterday, Skraby. You know what it was?
It was winning series.
They were swept by the Cardinals. First time in 106 series that they had been swept.
That's
the
crazy.
Orioles. 106.
That's a lot.
Ashley Rutschman? Adley, thank you. Yeah, Ashley. Adley Rutschman had never been swept in his career.
I mean,
until,
it's only 1.5 years, but sure.
But he had never experienced a sweep. Cardinals swept that 3-game series. The first time the Orioles have been swept in almost 2 years. They go back to work tonight in Chicago against Mike Clevenger and the White Sox. Baltimore favored by 1.5. I think you're first.
You know, the White Sox have been putting together some wins as of late. I'm happy for Steven Wilson to feel that victory joy once every 18 days.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Orioles.
After all that.
Yeah.
Baltimore's got to take out their frustration on somebody.
So you're
It'll
gonna
be
say
tonight.
Orioles. Okay.
Mike Clevenger. You talk about a pitcher that had 1 or 2 glorious seasons 4 or 5 years ago and has not come close to recapturing that.
Just too many injuries.
He would be the definition of that.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, go get my wig, Skraby. Get the gavel. We're going to settle everybody's problems out there. A Gwynn and Chris edition of Sports Court is coming up next. Just so you know, Skraby and I basically have no lives other than this radio show.
He's not lying, everybody.
So when the radio show is in commercial break, we are actually watching the Rockies play the A's in baseball.
Yes.
But it's kind of worth our while.
I don't know.
I don't either, but the Rockies led 4-0. The A's tied it in the 9th, 4-4. The Rockies scored 1 in the 10th. The A's scored 1 in the 10th. So the Rockies scored 4 in the 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Now the A's have scored 4 in the 11th.
Mm-hmm.
And it is 9-9. So it's actually kind of a fun game. Padres had some fun in Cincinnati today. They went extra innings and beat the Reds 6-4 to come home 5-2 on this road trip. Yankees tomorrow. We'll start worrying about them tomorrow. And speaking of tomorrow, don't forget we're broadcasting live from Spiro's. Skraby and I are going to be out there from 2 to 5:30 tomorrow afternoon. If you don't want to come just to see us, then come for the great Mediterranean cuisine at Spiro's.
Yes.
Come to enjoy the amazing atmosphere
Yes.
at the Coronado Ferry Landing. It's a beautiful place to spend your Friday afternoon. And if all of that isn't enough, we're going to have Padre tickets to give away. We're going to have SD Legion tickets to give away.
Nice.
We're going to have Padre hats, shirts, and bobbleheads to give away. We got all kinds of stuff.
Where did you hear this?
For tomorrow.
Where did you hear this?
I'm busy at work.
Okay.
I'm setting this up. By the way, it's time for Sports Court, ladies and gentlemen, if you can't tell, those of you on YouTube.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Vicky Pepper.
This report brought to you by the Fish Market, serving the freshest catches from waters near, far, and everywhere in between. 8 East at Camino del Rio, a crash partially blocking the on-ramp. Fresh, wild Alaskan halibut season is in full spring. Enjoy it perfectly grilled at the Fish Market and then grab an extra piece to cook yourself from the market on your way out. The Fish Market with locations downtown and Del Mar. The Fish Market, serving and offering only the freshest catches. I'm Vicky Pepper with Gwynn and Chris on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Do you have a sports issue, San Diego? Do you need a third party to make a decision? The guys have put on their robes and picked up their gavels.
All rise. Here comes the judge.
Gwynn and Chris Sports Court starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
I gotta say, every time I look into the camera and the video and I see Chris in his wig, I think how great the wig actually looks on you every single time.
It's amazing what happens when you add hair to me.
Ah, man, that's amazing.
Yeah, I got my real hair cut today. Saw
yes.
Sam, the barber, out at Mr. Cut.
Oh, what's Sam up to?
Rancho
these days?
San Diego.
Is he
Sam's
winning
the
any
man.
big bets anymore? Because he
Well,
always does.
he told me actually he's getting ready to participate this year in Circa's
the Survivor Pool.
Survivor Pool.
Well, he should. He wins it every year for whatever he's playing in.
He's been in 3 Survivor Pools of NFL football that I know of. This is my great barber, Sam. Go visit him out there at Mr. Cut if you're in Rancho San Diego. Say hi to him for me.
If it's good enough for
He gets-
Chris,
let
if
me
it's
tell
good
you-
enough for Bob Scanlon,
Bob
it's
Scanlon
good
goes
enough
to
for
Sam
you.
too. Yeah. And by the way, if anybody goes and tells Sam that they heard his name on the radio, he goes crazy. He thinks it's the greatest thing that's ever happened. So
Well, there you go, Sam.
he loves it.
We talk about Sam off the air. We talk about Sam on the air.
Sam's the man. But he's also the greatest Survivor Pool picker I've ever seen. He's
Yeah,
been
it's
in
pretty
3 of them
incredible.
that I know of, and he's won them all.
It's pretty incredible.
I don't know how you do that. All right, let's get to Sports
Well,
Court.
first,
Some
my
real
first
stuff.
sports court is I dropped something earlier on the show when you were talking about Luis Ariz kind of scanning the field, and I said it's kind of like the water boy when he's scanning the onside kick and he's looking for the scared guy in the line so that he can kick it to that guy.
Oh, in the movie,
Yes.
The Water Boy.
So Eric Price on Twitter said, that was a great reference, thank you. GCU dad said, never seen The Water Boy. That's my first sports court. You have to watch The Water Boy if you're going to listen to this show.
And if you are wondering, Skraby will tell you that it is a great movie. Just like every movie you've ever seen.
The Waterboy is legitimately a great movie.
It's all right.
It's hilarious.
It's all right.
Where would we... I almost posted a GIF the other day when the Padres lost on Tuesday with Rob Schneider saying, "We suck again." It's from Waterboy. It's great.
It's okay.
All right, here we go. Sports Court. If you have any issues that you want solved by Chris and myself, and when Tony's here, he'll solve them too, then just DM me or email me. But here's the first one. Goes like this.
Okay.
A fun debate broke out during a round of golf the other day, and I thought you guys would get a kick out of it. We were talking about how hard golf is and comparing it to baseball, and I said I think it's much harder to shoot a score of sub 80 on an 18-hole course than it would be to get one hit in 18 at-bats. My theory is you could stick your bat out there and maybe get lucky and get a hit. You can't fake golf for 18 holes. Chris, which is more difficult in your opinion?
I know a lot of us like to think we could just get lucky and get a hit against a major league pitcher. I know we'd love to think that. We could close our eyes, guess right, and hit the ball first, let alone hit it safely.
Yeah, we're not talking about grooving fastballs. We're talking about a legit major league
Right,
bat.
like curveball, sliders, knucklers, whatever it might be.
Just everything flying everywhere.
Yeah. But that said, it's got to be harder to shoot under 80 on a real professional 18-hole golf course, I must say. I know there's a few of you out there that can do it, Ben Higgins, but it's really not easy. And you're right. You can't fake it for 18 holes.
No.
You might get a birdie somewhere along the line.
No.
But
your real skill level
your
will
real
come
skill.
out.
The other day, I was telling you earlier, I went golfing and I got like 7 holes. I had like 6 pars and a boat. I was doing great. Then I went triple because the real me showed up for a couple holes.
Like baseball's a statistical sport, so is golf.
Yeah. So I'm going to say, although getting a hit against a major league pitcher, I don't know about that either. So, but I'll say the golf's harder. What about you?
I mean, my best score ever on an 18-hole course is 82. So I've never broken 80 before.
But you conceivably could.
I could if I really had a great
If you're
day.
within 2 shots, you could conceivably do it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
So I would say it would be harder to get a hit in my situation because I think I could get a 79 if everything was going right for me.
So I would say for you the hit.
Yeah,
because I've seen you swing a bat in softball.
Whoa. Oh, he's decided. He's
I've
decided.
For you, the hit would be harder.
CJ on the chat said sub 80 is like hitting 300 average, which is also very hard for people to do. I do think, though, if you just stuck your bat out there in one of the 18 at-bats, you may get a bunt. You just have to get on base. You're not having to hit it out of the infield.
Well,
or
I would
anything
probably
like that.
try to bunt all 18 at-bats then.
But
if that
hitting
was
would be
if
hard.
that was legit and legal, then that's what I would try.
Yes.
So,
all right. Well, that was a good little debate.
Good debate.
Yes.
We have another golf debate that I want to get to, but you and I, this is not a sports court.
Ooh, okay.
But I don't let me forget.
Okay.
Because I want
to
to chat about something that happened to me on the golf course the other day.
All right. Wow.
Get your professional opinion on it.
I love when you say my professional opinion. Real quick, this hour at 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Express Employment Professionals. If you're ready for a new job, let Express Employment Professionals help you. Express is your one connection for a summer job in a variety of industries. Job seekers never pay a fee at Express. Go to expresspros.com to find your location. That's expresspros.com. All right, the second one is this. My friend is the biggest armchair manager I know. Always disagrees with the manager, always disagrees with me. He's an analytics guy and actually pays for services so he can get the information as close as possible to what big league managers get. So whenever Mike Schilt makes a decision, he sends a group text to everyone about it, and I'm over it. I'm not going to end a friendship over this, but I need some ammunition to strike back at him. I'm up first. Do you have any for me?
So this guy's a know-it-all. And has a
this comes up a lot in this segment.
Yeah, right. You people out there, all of your friends seem to be know-it-alls.
Yes,
because we've had this discussion.
We have
before,
and with different variances to
right.
it. But okay, so I'm gonna go first. Do I have any ammunition for it? My ammunition is gonna be this: anytime he drops an analytics stat, tell him to explain it to you. Because you don't understand what XWOBA 769583 is. Just have him explain it to you, because he'll get sick of doing that real quick. And he will really quickly make himself look like he has no idea what he's talking about, because some of these stats are ridiculous. I say just try to fool him and try to make him trip himself up. Chris?
I say drop him as a friend. I'm tired of people like this guy who think like they know everything.
Drop him as a friend?
Yeah, you said that you were thinking about it. Just
No,
make
he said
the
he's
move.
not. He said he's not.
Just make the move. I don't know. I get tired of people who can't just sit back and enjoy the game once in a while, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, if I will say this, if the guy at least first guesses Mike Schilt and says in his group text, hey, I don't agree with this move because he can't get lefties out, and then the guy doesn't get a lefty out, then, give him credit. He came up with it. But I would imagine that even know-it-alls are probably wrong most of the time. So I think that's the best way to do it. Instead of getting uptight about it, try to sit back and enjoy it. And when he's wrong, let him have it.
Let him have it.
Then you'll get some enjoyment out of it as well.
I had a guy in my DMs maybe, I don't know, a year ago, and all he would do is everything that we said on the show, he would send me the analytic version of the breakdown.
Yeah.
And I told him, I do not care, sir.
I'm over it.
Do not care, sir.
Yeah, by the way, the Rockies-A's game just ended in the 11th inning. The only way a Rockies-A's game could end.
I didn't see it.
With a bases-loaded walk. The A's win 10-9.
And they were celebrating like it was the World Series.
Yes, the A's get 5 in the bottom of the 11th after the Rockies had scored 4 in the top of the 11th. Yes, indeed, we lost all 3 to that team.
Junior
makes you real happy, doesn't it?
Yes. Junior said in the chat, the Padres gained like 20,000 armchair managers after 2019.
That's
kind
right.
of true. All right, here's the final one. And Chris, I don't know, you might have an opinion on it, but they say this one may be more for Skraby and Tony, but Tony's not here, so we have to do it without him. I love sports courts, and I have this question. I play MLB The Show online, and mostly against some friends of mine. One thing about the baseball games, video games, is you can easily mess up an experience by trying to pitch like an idiot. I tend to try and play like a real game is played. One of my friends is the guy who throws purposely bad pitches to make his opponent swing, and it gets old. You may ask, why don't you stop swinging? Well, when I stop swinging, he then throws the good pitches and racks up the strikes. So there are no rules against this, but is this a lame way to play, Chris?
It sounds like it. I don't play MLB The Show or any of these games. But if I did, I would want it to be as much like the real experience as it could be. So that's all I can tell you. It sounds like your friend's lame. Sounds like it's time to get some new friends like the last guy.
Is this what we do here now?
Yes, play with some people that want to do it right. Explain this to me, Skraby. What do you mean he's throwing weird pitches?
Well,
what does that mean?
He'll throw like a curveball in the dirt. And so you swing because you're playing a video game. So at some point it looks like a good pitch.
Okay.
And then it's in the dirt. But then when you say, okay, I get your strategy, he'll throw a strike. And then now it's like 2-1, 2-2. I have played against people like this online.
Can I just say that far too many people take far too many video games far too seriously? Is that fair?
Everything in life, Chris, you could say that about.
Yeah,
but
right.
Yes, this person is taking this far too seriously. What I say about it, this is a lame way to play. There are no rules about it. But if he's going to play this way, force him to throw strikes. Even if you just have to take 3 strikes in a row, this guy cannot, I can already tell you, he cannot lay off the bad pitches. So just force him to throw you strikes.
I don't know how these judges back in the 1800s made it, man. My hair, I'm getting sweaty. It's
Everybody's saying it's lame.
getting batchy.
There's a GoFundMe for a comb going on.
It's the way the wig came. What can I tell you?
Unwritten rules for MLB video games. I've thought about throwing at someone in a video game, but what's the point? Really, I'm just putting someone on base.
Yeah, it's not going to hurt the guy holding the controllers, is
but
it?
I've definitely thought about it.
Okay, try that. We got Chris vs. the Fans, 833-288-0973. I'm going to get this wig off so I can stop sweating. More Gwynn and Chris on the way. Hey, rolling into the 4 o'clock hour, Gwynn and Chris today without Tony Gwynn Jr., of course. Tony working his way back to town from the Queen City, Cincinnati. Padres knocked off the Reds today. A 10-inning affair, 6-4. Fernando came through with the RBI double to break the tie in the 10th inning. Cronenworth followed with a sac fly. That was plenty for Robert Suarez, who nailed down his 14th save. Jeremiah Estrada, with 2 wipeout innings of relief, got the win. He struck out 5 in a row at one point. And for doing so, Skraby and I decided we'll have him on the show tomorrow for Friar Friday.
Yes, we allowed him on the show.
We allowed him on the show.
Yes.
It's Friar Friday tomorrow, and Jeremiah Estrada will be our guest. So that'll be pretty good timing. Talk to
really
him.
Good timing.
Yeah. He looked electric today, and I think the Padres have found their 8th inning setup guy, at least for the time being. Waldron, I thought, struggled, but gutted out 5 innings today, allowed only 2 runs, and Yel De Los Santos gave up the tying 2-run homer in the 6th. But the bullpen held firm from there. And Luis Arraez putting on a show for the second consecutive day. 4 hits yesterday, 4 hits today. To give you an idea how hard that is, the great Tony Gwynn did it only once in his career. And Arraez has now done it once as well. In the last 2 days he did it. Arraez also has multiple hits in 8 consecutive games, which ties the longest that Tony Gwynn ever did that in his career.
Yes.
So Luis Arraez, I don't know, is he doing all right for the Padres? Skraby is hitting .419.
I think so.
In a Friar uniform.
I think so.
Yeah.
And if you go a little bit further with some of those stats, Tony Gwynn Sr. had 6 instances of 3-hit games, or three hit games in a row during his career, which is crazy too.
Yeah, Tony Gwynn is still in the Hall of Fame. Luis Arraez is a ways off from that, but it doesn't change the fact that it is great fun to watch this guy hit, especially the show he put on the last 2 days. He bunted in the 10th inning, and that was a huge play, bunted for a hit to move the ghost runner, Campusano, to third and set up the 2-run rally that won the game. Arraez, fantastic. Padres are over 500 again, 27-26. Tomorrow night, they'll host the Yankees. And after tomorrow night's game, Skraby, one way or the other, the Padres will be at the exact 1/3 mark of the season.
Oh, man.
Game 54 tomorrow night. That is 1/3 of the way through the season.
We're trying to figure out a countdown topic, but maybe you just gave me one.
Okay.
Top 5 biggest moments of the first third of the season.
The first third of the season.
Yes.
All right. We might. I'll take that under
No,
advisement.
I think since we're at a Greek restaurant, maybe we do something with food, like our top 5 favorite Greek food items.
I can't decide. I'm going to order whatever. I'm going to order at least 5 or 6 different items tomorrow at Spiro's. By the way, just a reminder: Skraby and I are going to be out there tomorrow. Tony will be at the ballpark, but. Actually, Tony won't be at the ballpark. I think he's actually off this weekend.
He is
from
off
broadcasting.
Yes, he's off from everything.
He's off from everything for the next few days. But you and I will be out there tomorrow. We're the fun guys anyway.
Oh yeah, people come to see us all the time.
They don't, but they come to see Tony, but they stay for our company.
They do, yes.
Yeah, because we're kind of goofy and fun.
Yeah.
Come on out to Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. It's the Coronado location. The ferry landing in Coronado. We'll be there broadcasting live tomorrow from 2 to 5:30. And if seeing us isn't enough, and if eating a whole bunch of great Greek food and drinking a cold one and enjoying the atmosphere, if all that's not enough, we will be giving away Padre tickets, Padre hats, shirts, bobbleheads, SD Legion tickets. We have a ton of stuff to give away tomorrow, but you have to come out and join us to win the prizes. So we'll look to see many of you tomorrow afternoon.
And I want to make this quick disclaimer.
You got one more?
Real quick disclaimer.
You got another disclaimer.
Well, it's because Chris, we haven't been here all week.
I know.
I've had to talk to Lucky, and even Lucky got sick of listening to me.
I hear you.
He just walked away.
I hear you. That's what I'd like to do, but I can't. I'm employed. I have to stay here and listen to you.
You said grab a cold one, which is definitely, you should grab a cold one. We don't drink, though, so please do not buy a drink for us.
That is a good disclaimer.
And I'm saying it just so, because I'm not trying to be mean or anything.
No, that's a fair disclaimer, because people try to be nice and buy us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's horrible to say, you know what, I don't want it.
We will take a cold beverage, just don't have alcohol in it.
Yes.
But you can buy us whatever you like. All right, that's tomorrow. We're excited. We look forward to it. Spiros has been great to us. You will enjoy yourself. Come on out. Between 2 and 5:30 tomorrow. One more thing, join the biggest moments in sports, Prize Picks. Pick your players, pick your stats, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. You must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Let's play some Chris versus the fans right now.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know Gen 4.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right,
I'll give the prize we're playing for.
Okay.
Get qualified for a grand prize, 2-night stay at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino, 2 tickets to see Warrant. You also get to see Lita Ford. You also get to see Paralandra. You also get to see them on my birthday, June 22nd. I don't know how that'll make it any more fun for you, but happens to be true. Get ready for an unforgettable night of pure rock bliss. It's Warrant, it's Lita Ford, it's Paralandra. They're going to blow the roof off the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino June 22nd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. The Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino features newly designed premier rooms, part of their $70 million room renovations, home of legendary Vegas fun.
You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. Now, let's go to our first contestant of the day. Let's go with Pete in Scripps Ranch. Pete, hello.
Hey, boys. How you doing this afternoon?
Very good,
pretty
Pete.
good.
Good to have you aboard.
You ready to play?
Let's do it.
Oh, I also didn't say if you are a first-time player, let us know before the first question. You get it for free, but I know Pete has played before, so here we go. Shaq played for what NBA team first?
That'd be the Orlando Magic.
Correct.
Boy, it took you a while to rule on that.
Yes, it did take me a while. I kind of forgot there for a second, to be honest.
You forgot whether he got it right or not.
Yes. All right. Question.
He did debut. You know, it's kind of fun, too, because we all have seen Shaq now a million times. He's everywhere. Go back and look at a picture of Shaq in an Orlando Magic uniform. It's incredible.
He's so skinny.
So thin, so young. It's almost like incredible. A totally different person.
He did tear down a hoop while he was
Oh,
that
yes,
skinny.
he could still do all that.
All right, here we go. Pete, question number 2. Name the team that these 3 players played on together. Jan Gomes, Trevor Bauer, Austin Adams.
Ooh, not easy, I don't think.
You don't need to name the year or anything, just the same team that they played.
Yeah. Cincinnati Reds.
Cincinnati Reds. Stay there, Pete.
Well, this is a tough one. Trevor Bauer is he's the linchpin here. He was with Cleveland. I think Jan Gomes and I think Austin Adams had a cup of coffee, so I'm going to go Cleveland.
Cleveland rocks. Correct.
Sorry, Pete. That was a tough one, though. I like that question. You've been going with that.
I'm going to do more of those.
You've been going with that style.
I'm going to do more of those. They're not hard to come up with, but sometimes I'm like, no one's ever going to know this.
Yeah. Gomes has played with the Cubs. I mean, they've all played with a bunch of teams.
Yeah,
so.
That's why it's fun.
And Austin Adams even played here in San Diego.
And he's is he an A now?
I don't know where he is now, but I know that he was the one that I asked how his brother was one day at spring training, thinking he was Austin Nola. And he looked at me like I had 2 left ears or something.
Gosh. Tony and I were sitting there.
Yeah.
We have to just stop it real quick. spring training. Austin Adams walked by. Chris goes, "How's your brother doing?"
Well, wait. Now, first of all, he walked by going one direction.
It's true.
And I said to you guys, was that Austin? And you guys go, yeah.
Yeah, it's Austin.
And I thought that was Austin Nola. So when he came back, I thought, I'll be a nice guy and ask how his brother Aaron is doing. But it wasn't Austin Nola. It was Austin Adams.
He did this. He was like,
that I was asking. What? Yeah, he was incredulous.
He was very upset that you asked him.
I don't know if he was upset. He was certainly incredulous as to where that question was coming from.
It was hilarious.
It was a classic faux pas, for sure. It was.
All right. I'm glad we can laugh about it now. Let's go to our next contestant, David. Hello, David. How are you?
Hello, gentlemen. How you doing?
Good. Are
Very
you ready
good,
to
David.
play?
I'm ready to do it.
Are you currently in Del Cerro? Are you from Del Cerro?
Sir.
Where is Del Cerro?
Oh, Del Cerro's awesome. It's
Where is it?
well, it's off the 8 freeway. You got San Diego State on one side.
Eagle left.
Del
right?
Cerro's the other way.
Okay.
It's a lovely part of town.
All right.
Lake Moon and Patrick Henry, yeah.
A little Patrick Henry High action.
Okay.
All right.
Now
You
I know where it
and
is.
Eric Caros.
All right. Here.
I used to coach him, by the way.
There you go.
All right, David. Here we go. Question number 1.
That's enough small talk, Skraby says.
Well, we're running out of time. What Padre pitcher was credited with a win in last night's 7-3 Padres victory?
Shoot, I didn't watch that game. I'll go with Matthew Drees.
Who?
Matthew Drees.
I don't know.
I didn't get that either, but I think it was Michael King.
It was Michael King. I'm sorry, David.
Sorry,
Thank you for
David.
playing.
Enjoy the day in Del Cerro, though. You got that going for you.
All right, let's go to our next contestant. Let's go to Tyler in Fallbrook. Tyler?
I like Tyler.
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
Tyler's a good player.
Tyler is a good player.
I think Tyler would be the favorite if we had a Fallbrook edition of this segment. Like all of the players had to call in from Fallbrook, I would favor Tyler to win it.
Chris is really doing a good job of knowing where everybody's from
talking
today.
Me up here.
That's right.
I don't know now.
Okay, well, hopefully you get this first
Have
question.
you ever been to Fallbrook, Skraby? Like,
Yes, I played.
Why did you go there?
At Fallbrook.
Oh, okay, that's right. You were in high school.
And isn't there like good avocado stuff up there?
There's good avocados, but I don't know that you really have to go to Fallbrook to get an avocado.
Well, next time I will.
Not trying to, I
Sorry,
like Fallbrook,
Tyler.
but it's a long way to go for an avocado. Let's put it that way.
Okay, here we go.
All right, no more small talk. Let's go.
Number 1.
Trying to humanize our contestants
Have
a
you
little
ever
bit.
stopped at
Skraby.
the avocado stand that's near the freeway?
Absolutely, all the time.
Oh, do they have good avocados?
Good enough
All right.
that I don't have to go to Fallbrook.
All right, Tyler. Which pitcher won today's Padres game?
Who's the winning pitcher today?
That's a better way of putting it.
Okay. Didn't have it.
Chris knows this.
Well, we know it's Estrada, and that's why we're putting him on the show tomorrow. Sorry, Tyler.
Sorry.
I built you up, but he didn't watch the game today, obviously, so he wasn't on it.
It is tough, I guess,
It does happen.
when you have work in the middle of the
Yes,
day.
you have an extra inning game. You know it's a reliever, but you don't know who it was.
Yes.
If you weren't
correct.
watching the game.
All right, let's go to our next contestant.
Better luck next time for Tyler.
Let's go.
We're really moving around the county here today.
We are.
I think we should go all the way to no.
Let's go to Bonna in
Where?
Spring Valley.
Oh,
Bonna.
the other side of town.
How's it going, Bonna?
Good. How you guys doing?
Very
Pretty
good, Bonna.
Are you ready to go?
Have you been to Fallbrook, Bonna?
Yeah, I have been in Fallbrook.
Really? I mean, from Spring Valley, that's like you have to stop at a hotel and stay the night over. That's a long way.
Yeah, AYSL tournaments as a kid.
Okay.
There you go.
AYSO tournament as a kid. There you go. Boy, I bet your coaches and parents were happy to see that on the schedule.
Oh, Fallbrook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spring Valley
We
to
won.
Fallbrook.
I'm sorry to all the Fallbrook people right now because it seems like we're making fun of Fallbrook,
We're
but we're
not.
not.
It's
We're
just
not.
far away. You can't argue that.
I live in North County. It's not that far.
It's far.
Question number 1, Bonna. Which Padre had 4 hits today?
There you go, Bonna. That's right up your alley.
Luis Arise.
There
Luis
you
Arias
go.
is correct.
All right. Now we're rolling.
Here we go, question number 2. And this is not a sports question. It's just
Okay.
been sitting here for far too long.
All right.
What is the name of Macaulay Culkin's character in the movie Home Alone? What's his character's
Alone.
name in
Home Alone. That, I would agree with you, is a great movie, and I'm sure you think it is.
It was right in my wheelhouse.
Macaulay Culkin?
Yes.
Yeah, but what was his character's name? We know
I
it's
think you
Macaulay
said
Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yes, we know that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Richie Rich?
Rich.
Richie Rich. Another great Macaulay Culkin movie. Incorrect. He had a McDonald's in his bedroom.
They're
Chris.
all great. Macaulay Culkin movies.
Well, Macaulay Culkin made the great movies for me because he was a 90s guy. Do you know? Chris,
I don't know
his
how much
name?
you're going to ask, require for this question. I only
Both
know
first and last.
Well, then I'm out of luck. Because I know that his mom yells, Kevin! But
you can't get the last name?
I don't know his last name. If I hear it, I'll know it. So you have to rule whether I'm right or not. It's Kevin. No, he says no.
Well, it has to have the last name.
What is it?
Kevin McAllister.
Nah, I might have come up with that, but I know the Kevin. All right,
right.
Bonner, good news for you.
Yes.
You advance to the final round.
I will say this last question, Chris, if you get this, we will end the game forever.
Forever? Really?
Yes. Nah, I don't know about forever because I
Better
can't.
not risk it.
All right, Bonner, here we go. Question number 3. What golf course did Phil Mickelson win on when he won the 2021 PGA Championship? What was the name of the golf course Phil Mickelson won on when he won the 2021 PGA Championship?
2021?
2021 PGA
Yes,
Championship.
that's a big deal.
Was it the Waste Management Course?
Nice.
At least you said a
Said a
tournament
course.
name.
You said a
well,
course.
that's not a course name.
I know, but
It's
that's not
okay.
it.
I don't know if Chris knows.
He
this
doesn't
to
think I'm going to
stay
get
there.
this right, and if I get it right, he's going to be so mad that he's going to throw something at me. I'm going to say Loma Santa Fe Executive Golf Course.
Do you actually know what it is?
I don't know.
Loma Santa Fe Executive Golf Course.
That's my guess.
Just missed out on hosting the 2021 PGA
Darn it,
Championship.
I thought they should have had it there.
Just missed out.
All right, Bonnie, you're a winner today. Congratulations to you.
Kiowa Island.
What was it?
Kiowa Island.
I could have guessed for 10 years. I'd have never come up with that.
You know, Kiowa has had Rory win his PGA in
Okay.
like 2013, I think, and
Yeah.
then maybe close to there.
The only one I could even name was Valhalla, and they had it there this year. All right, Bonna, I drove through Spring Valley today, heading on out to see my guy Sam. So Spring Valley is the winner of Chris vs. the Fans today. Bonna, stay on
right
the line.
there.
You will cash in. All right, when we come back, we're going to check some traffic first. But when we come back, I don't know what you had planned, Skraby, but I want to get to this golf discussion with you.
Oh.
I had something happen to me on the course the other day that I just it gave me pause.
Whoa.
And I want to bring you in. You're my golfing expert.
It gave you pause.
Yes, I want to get your opinion on this. I think almost everybody who's ever golfed out there has probably had this happen to them once or twice. So I want to see what the right way to handle it is. We'll discuss that when we come back. Also, the latest on Scotty Scheffler and his run-in with the Louisville, Kentucky police officer the other day before the PGA.
Louisville.
That what I say?
Louisville.
Oh, sorry. Louisville.
I'm telling everybody out there, you go to Louisville,
I get you.
better say Louisville
I
or
get
else
you.
they will correct you.
I get you. It's like Boise, but it's
Boise,
actually
yes.
Boise.
Yes, correct.
All right. It is still Gwynn and Chris, though, either way.
From the 90s.
All right, welcome back to Gwynn and Chris. Chris Ello, Matt Skraby today in the Odyssey Palace studios. Rolling towards 6 o'clock. And then am I to correctly surmise that at 6 o'clock tonight there'll be another edition, the long-awaited return of the Skraby Chronicles.
You know, I'm not.
You still haven't officially changed the name of the show, have you?
I'm not gonna argue it anymore. You could call it the Chronicles. You could call it the Skraby Show. Just as long as you call yourself a Skrabinator.
The Skrabinators will rejoice at 6 o'clock tonight as Matt will be here to carry on the conversation.
I actually have a guest tonight.
Really?
For the first time, really, I'm having an outside
guest.
I
noticed that our show today did not have a guest. Is that because you've had a few days off and you just kind of got lazy and loungy on me?
No, it was because the Padres game moved very slow. That's why. That's why, Chris. It moved very slow. He gave me the evil eye.
Yes, that's not
my
very good.
guest actually is the gentleman who follows my show on the Infinity Sports Network. Bart Winkler is going to be on at 6:20. So
good.
Yeah,
good for you.
Yeah.
By the way, Skraby filled in on the midday show earlier this week.
I did.
Now he's in love with Annie and Elston. And
it was
I think
quite a nice experience.
Yes, I think you're starting to drop your responsibilities on this particular program.
Well, Annie and Elston would never yell at me like you would yell at me. So.
I see. Yeah, we'll give them some time. This is only their first occasion to hang with you.
Everybody's on their best behavior the first time.
That's right. Tomorrow, we're going to be broadcasting Skraby and I live out at Spiro's in Coronado at the ferry landing. We got 3 pairs of Padre Marlins tickets to give away. Marlins are here next week.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to have that. We're going to have SD Legion tickets. We're going to have tickets to Cage the Elephant at Viejas Arena.
All right.
What is that?
It's a band.
Okay. I was assuming so.
Actually, no. They try to put an elephant in a cage.
That'll be interesting. It's at Viejas Arena on July 6th. You can win a pair of tickets to that. We're also going to have Padre shirts, hats, and bobbleheads. A whole bunch of fun stuff to give away tomorrow. If just hanging out with us isn't enough to draw your presence down to Coronado tomorrow between 2 and 5:30. All right. I'm going to ask you this golf question in a second, but before that, real quick on Scotty Scheffler.
Yes.
They released the Louisville police. They released some new video today that basically shows, unless I'm badly mistaken here, Scrabe, that Scotty Scheffler did absolutely 100% nothing wrong and absolutely 100% nothing that the Louisville police officer claimed he did when they came out and said that Scotty refused to stop, he refused to slow down. He dragged the officer 10 to 20 yards.
30 yards, I heard.
Whatever. There's no evidence of this at all in the latest video that has been released. So, and furthermore, now the officer is coming under fire for lying. Also, he's been disciplined 6 times. He's been suspended twice.
Oh, in his career?
This officer has.
I had no idea about this.
Yes. So, this is the kind of person that Scotty Scheffler, they show the video. Scotty Scheffler, apparently, as they started yelling at him to stop, he stopped. And I didn't see anybody get dragged anywhere.
He didn't really stop. Okay, let me say.
All right, go ahead.
Let me say this because the video is very.
You think it's inconclusive?
It's very damning for one person. And that's the police officer.
Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to make. I wanted to make sure that you and I saw the same video.
Yes, we saw the same video. There was a couple different angles of the video. Now, right. I don't know why this guy did. If you're telling me that, my mind immediately goes to this police officer saw an opportunity and took it. Because with his history like that, I mean, if he does have a history of being suspended and getting in trouble and all this, I didn't know any of that. It definitely puts the benefit of the doubt in Scotty Scheffler's court.
There's no question here. And, I tell you one thing, the Louisville police authorities ought to drop these charges faster than they can, possibly believe.
Yeah.
To get this all to go away at this point. Because, I mean, I don't know that Scotty Scheffler has time to sue the city of Louisville for false accusations and false imprisonment and everything else that they've done to him.
Yeah.
But he certainly could, I think, and he'd stand a pretty good chance of winning. I don't know. The whole thing just seems ridiculous. So anyway, I'm sure you'll see the video later on tonight.
It's pretty crazy.
And it's inconclusive video to a certain extent
because there's not really a clear view.
But it's conclusive that he didn't drag any officer anywhere,
unless he dragged him before the video started. Like there's
I don't
no
see
dragging.
how, Skrabe. There's
No,
nobody attached to the car.
Well, he attached himself to the car. The police officer did jump. You know, if I'm going to give the police officer the benefit of the doubt, I'm just going to say it was a crazy, hectic, early morning situation where someone passed away being hit by a bus.
That part is tragic and true.
And so maybe the police officer was just trying really hard to keep everything under control, but it seemed like a little
pretty
much.
hard to give him the benefit of the doubt
like
based on this video. All right, well, we've got golfers that want to hear what happened to me out on the course today. Do I have a minute to do this? Because we're up against a break.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep everybody waiting.
You're fine.
All right, we had our usual foursome on Tuesday. One person couldn't make it, so we're down to 3. We tried to get you to fill in because you're a good fill-in, but you couldn't make it. You were working.
Yeah.
So the 3 of us show up. We go down. We get to the first tee. And as we're walking up to the first tee, there's a lonely one guy standing there.
Uh-oh.
And I'm thinking to myself, this guy better be waiting for his friends to come later.
That sometimes does happen.
Which does happen sometimes because I ain't in any mood to golf with somebody I don't know.
I ain't in any mood.
I ain't in any mood. So we're walking up. The guy's standing there, and one of my group says, hey, what's your tee time? Because we thought maybe he was before us, after us. He goes, I'm not until whatever, 8:45. And we're like, oh, good, we're now. So we'll go tee off. And he then goes, you guys mind if I hop in with you?
Oh, what?
And I got to tell you, Skraby, as soon as he said, you mind if I hop in with you, the first thing I thought of is, no!
That's what
You're
I think
not
too.
hopping in with us.
That's what I think, too.
But my 2 partners, before I could, bellow anything out, said, oh, absolutely, sure.
What? Without even consulting you?
I'm not blaming my partners. I think they did what most normal people would do, which is say, sure, come on, and we got room for a 4th. You're alone. Golf with us. But in my mind, I wanted to be the mean guy because I didn't feel like sharing the next 3.5 hours of my day with somebody I didn't know.
See, 99 times out
so
of 100.
what? Go ahead now. Tell me what you would have done had your partner said something. You would have had to accept it, wouldn't you? At that point,
your playing partners are exactly like the friend I play golf with all the time. He's a very friendly guy. He wants more the merrier is his slogan, which is not my slogan
and
at all.
I personally am not friendly at all.
That's not true.
Okay, but in this instance, I wouldn't have been as friendly.
I immediately, the first thing I thought of when you said that was, no. Like, I'm sorry, sir, you have your own tee time. And
well, that's my other thing, because I'm not trying to call out my partners here. I think they did what any normal person would do, because I don't know what I would say if I said no to the guy. Like, how do you...
Here's how I would do it.
How do you do that and get away with it?
We just want to keep the pace up. We're only going 3 today for a reason.
Yeah, it's no
or
good.
You say,
no good.
Sorry, we might have our 4th joining us at some point.
Oh, that's a lie, but it's not a bad one.
It's a bold-faced lie.
That's a bold-faced lie,
and
but
then
not
when he never
that bad.
joins you, you just say, "Oh, he never joined us."
Yeah, he was supposed to be here and meet with us on the 3rd hole.
The chat is.
I just think you're stuck. I think if you're us, you're stuck. I think the guy was a little bit, I think he was a little out of pocket to even ask to join us. But once he asked to join us, I don't know that we could have done anything else.
I have a million things. I'm sorry to cut you off, but did he look disheveled at all?
Nah, he looked like a decent guy, and he turned out to be just fine.
That's what I was about to say. 99 times out of 100, I get anxiety when I know I'm going to be paired with someone, and then that person ends up being fine.
And this is another aspect of that. Now, I don't really care if somebody else is there watching me golf.
Yeah.
But I can tell you one thing, like when I go with my wife, she gets really nervous when other people watch us. She doesn't feel confident enough in her game to have some stranger watching her. She would rather just the two of us play together. If we get paired with another twosome, she gets a little, edgy, and she's still learning how to kind of get over that.
You could just tell someone you're on your first date and you need to be by yourself.
Yes, I'm on my first date with these two guys, and the three of us need to go. The three of us need to go out without any stranger attached to the party. I just don't know what we could have done.
This also
or
changed.
what everybody would do.
This also changed with COVID. It did. Because they started not pairing strangers with groups because you can't do that.
But that's over now.
It is over. Someone on the chat says, "Yeah, sure, you could join us, but you have to buy us lunch."
Buy us lunch?
I get what you're stuck in a really hard place, Chris.
Yes.
I
don't think there's much you can do other than to say yes and put your head down and tee off. As I teed off, I was teed off.
Hey-o. That's not an uncommon situation.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure this has happened to pretty much everybody.
That would be disappointing for me, though. I have said, Chris, because I am a little bit like this.
Yeah.
But I have said before, like, your tea time's at 8:54, bro.
Wow.
And it doesn't go over well with anyone.
No,
and
that would
even
make me
crawling out of my skin saying
Yes, that
it.
would make me really uncomfortable. All right. So anyway, word to the wise, if you run into me in my golfing party at some local establishment and you're by yourself, stay by yourself.
No, you tell them, I am a listener of your show, sir, and I would love to golf with you.
Stay by yourself.
And Chris would be like, yes, come on in our group.
I would not.
Okay.
I just want to say that I'm honest. I don't think anybody else would be honest. Most people would say, oh, sure, you got to let the guy play.
Just say you have the flu.
And I'm like, yes, you have to let the guy play, but I'm going to be honest and tell you that I did not like it.
Just go, oh, very nice to meet you, sir, and put out your hand for a handshake.
All right.
Is that a horse in studio?
Yeah, I'm tapping the desk. All right, Big Five's coming up. We're a little late for the break, so let's get to it.
Probably be a conversation identically that I have with my son Bo in 13 years?
And if you don't do it, you're fired. And I see you do it again, you're gone.
You're grounded.
That's it. And you too. And you too. And you.
The Bo versus Tom Cruise was the audio I didn't know I had to have.
Listen to Ben and Woods, weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. on 97.3 The Fan.
Need inspiration? Shop Ralph's for over 30,000 mouth-watering choices with savings beyond low prices, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. More savings and more inspiring flavors make Ralph's worth it every time. Ralph's, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or Canada Dry. Select varieties are 4 for $16 with your card when you buy 4. Ralph's, fresh for everyone.
All right, so there we were, cruising through the new open-air zoo, when I realized that the park was closing in like 15 minutes. Luckily, we were in my Nissan Rogue. With its powerful VC turbo engine, well, we had time to see all the animals. Whoa! And outrun a few!
Drive the Nissan Rogue.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Stick around for more Gwynn and Chris.
Tony Gwynn Jr. here. Spring is here and your backyard beckons. It's the place where you and your family make memories, and Moon Valley Nurseries wants to make it picture perfect. Now is the perfect time to reach out to their nursery pros and get the yard you deserve. You'll be amazed at how enhancing your backyard is like adding square feet to your house. Your beautiful space will make each moment with family and friends feel like a celebration. Go to moonvalleynurseries.com/get-growing to schedule a free design consultation today.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
This is Jim Rome with an Odyssey Sports Minute. You know we have way too much time on our hands when it comes to the NFL offseason because people are obsessed about what quarterbacks weigh at OTAs. To be specific, people are freaking out about the MVP of the Super Bowl and the MVP of the NFL, a.k.a. Fat Pat and Skinny Lamar. What an incredible waste of time. I'm Jim Rome.
Listen to 97.3 The Fan.
First thing I turn up when I get into my car.
And thousands of other stations, plus millions of podcasts for free on the Odyssey app.
All right, welcome back to Gwynn and Chris. Chrisello, the mean guy you don't want to run into on the first tee at a golf course. And Matt Skraby, who's just as mean. We're together in the Odyssey Palace studios. Tony Gwynn Jr. is probably a lot nicer than us and would be the one inviting the person to join him.
I don't know. Tony is
he's pretty private, actually.
He doesn't even want us to see his golf swing.
He's pretty private, so you're right. Good point. Did you wonder at all why I have this yellow shirt on today? Kind of a new look
not really.
for me. You didn't really cross your mind?
It's sports complex.
Do you know
right?
that it says? Do you see what it says here?
Sportsplex.
No,
USA?
under that. Under that, can you read
Move
this?
your hand.
Can you read these?
Oh,
two?
league champs.
That's right, baby.
Wow.
Not only did our softball team win the league championship last night, but yours truly had the clinching walk-off hit in the championship game.
So you got it through the hole?
To decide
5.5
matters.
hole?
I was actually a line drive to right center field. Now, it was a walk-off hit. By the very definition of a walk-off hit, it ended the game. It wrapped up the championship. Unfortunately for me, it wasn't the kind of walk-off hit you might be thinking of. There is a run rule in this league. We were up by 11 runs, and if we scored one more, the game would end on the run rule. And I got the hit, and we got the run, and that wrapped it up. But it wasn't as dramatic as it may have seemed.
No, I mean,
you see what I mean?
It definitely works, though.
I had the walk-off. It's an official walk-off. It ended the game, but
yeah.
It'd be a little more exciting if, like, we were down by a run.
But, I mean, you won the championship.
I wrapped up the championship.
So
I think we kind of had it won at that point.
I think that counts.
We were already up by 11 runs.
I think it counts.
Anyway, I got my T-shirt on today. I'm all excited. All right, let's check some traffic, and then we better get to the day, the Big Five, because you're not going to be happy if we don't make
From
it
the
in time.
97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Vicky Pepper.
This report brought to you by the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. 125 north at Lemon, a crash has you backed up from the 54. 5 north at Del Mar Heights, a stalled car in the center divider. You're at a standstill from the 805. And 5 south at Tamarack, a wreck blocking the carpool in 2 left lanes. That's going to set you behind by about half an hour. Change the way you see the world at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Whether you're eye-to-eye with Sumatran tigers or soaring high above giraffes and rhinos, every adventure helps support wildlife worldwide. Visit today and see conservation from a new perspective. I'm Vicki Pepper with Gwen and Chris on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
Join the biggest moments in sports with Prize Picks. Pick your players, pick your stats, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. All right, without any time to waste.
Number 5.
We're going to get into the Big Five. We have talked about this before, Chris, and we are going to talk about it again. The Padres love playing on the road, and the proof is in the record. On the road this year, they are 17-10. And at home, they are 10-16. So basically a complete opposite. Obviously, they need more wins at home, Chris. How do they get them?
I guess a good place to start would be to face some right-handed pitching.
Which they're not going to.
Which they're not going to do tomorrow night. They're going to face a lefty tomorrow night. Yeah, the Padres are so weird. It's not even funny.
It's very strange.
I mean, against right-handed pitching, they're #1 in baseball in batting average. And against left-handed pitching, as we've discussed, they're terrible. And then on the road, they're #1 in the league in batting average. #1. But at home, they're awful. I don't have a real good explanation for it, to be honest with you.
Let me see.
I really don't. I mean, you've got to, Manny's heating up a little. Fernando had a big run, scoring double to break the tie today. I kind of come back to these two guys. They've got to start dominating the way they're capable of for the Padres to get a hot streak going, home or away. And you're right. It makes no sense. I'll make a prediction right now.
Okay.
By season's end, they'll have a better record at home than they do on the road. We already talked about this. Very few teams ever finish backwards like that.
Yes, that's true.
So I think that part will even out. The other one honestly concerns me more. The one not being able to hit a left-handed pitcher.
Because there's lots of those out there.
Well, you're going to run into a few, right? The Marlins are going to start 3 in a row here next week. Lefty, lefty, lefty. You got to beat the Marlins, right?
Yes, you have to.
So
yes.
You've got to find a way to start scoring some runs and beating some left-handed pitchers. But
I think Austin Gomber had another nice start last night, so it makes it look a
make
little
you feel
bit
a little
better.
better. Okay, well,
Jackson Merrill played 24 games home, 24 games away.
Yeah,
his road stats are incredible.
Yeah, his splits are crazy.
He's hitting 364 on the road.
Yeah.
So
and at home about 190.
183.
Yeah.
So completely different. All right, how do they get them? They need to play to the park better, Chris.
Play to the park better, you say, which is what? Have more Luis Arises?
Yeah, hitting to the gaps. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times this year I've seen a visiting player hit a home run and a Padres player hit it to the warning track. I don't get it. I don't think there's anything behind it. But just kind of play to the park a little bit better.
Hit more line drives, you say.
Manny, a couple weeks ago against the Reds, hit it to the gap, cleared the bases. New game. That's what I'm saying.
Usually the way to break out of a hitting slump, whether it's at home or whether it's against lefties, usually the way to break out of a hitting slump is start hitting the ball the other way.
Yes.
So I believe that's a good suggestion by you.
All right.
Number 4.
The force is not with these cities, or this city. Never mind. Let me start that over. Can I have about 5 seconds of my life back? The 4 host cities for the 2026 World Baseball Classic have been announced. Internationally, the host sites will be Tokyo, Japan, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. The American host sites will be Miami, Florida, and Houston, Texas.
What?
This is an extremely biased question, but I'm up first. Should Petco Park be involved every time around? Yes, again, it's a biased question, but yes, Petco Park should be involved every time around. I don't care about them going to Houston. Miami seems like a good spot because it's close to other parts of the world. Houston is not close to the Japan International Series. I'm just trying to figure out why it's not on the West Coast, Chris. I think Petco Park should be in this all the time, but this is the last, 3 years now? Or 3 Baseball Classic? Maybe 2.
Apparently, the people that put on the World Baseball Classic think that baseball players around the world love humidity. That's why they play in 2 of the most humid cities in our country, Miami and Houston.
But they're both indoors.
Oh. Well, that helps quite a
lot.
bit.
So, do you think
that
Petco
was
should be
well?
there?
That was what my guess was. Evidently, that's not the explanation.
Yeah, but you agree Petco should be involved every time.
I would love to see Petco involved. I don't know I don't know everything that goes on behind the scenes.
There's probably,
but I do know this:
what?
That normally when it comes to getting big events in our city, the movers and shakers that run this town fall short.
So
I do know that.
You saying our Mayor Todd Gloria should be
I don't
front
know.
and center?
I don't know how it was that we have lost the World Baseball Classic because it was here, right, at one time.
Yeah, it was.
So I don't know what we've done. Maybe the Padres say they don't want to deal with it. But I just have a weird, sneaky suspicion that has something to do with the movers and shakers in our city who always seem to be asleep at the wheel.
Interesting.
I don't know this for sure.
Major League Baseball did put playoffs here, right? When the Yankees and the Rays played here?
Yeah, the playoffs were here during COVID. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Petco Park's everyone loves to come to San Diego. Everyone loves Petco Park. So why they're not here, there has to be something afoot.
Brandon on the chat makes a great point. If Miami can't support their own baseball team, they shouldn't get a World Baseball Classic.
Yes.
Great point.
Very good.
Number 3.
All right, Major League Baseball says robot home plate umpires are unlikely for 2025. Rob Manfred said, quote, "We still have some technical issues. We haven't made as much progress in the minor leagues this year as we sort of hoped at this point. I think it's becoming more and more likely this will not be a go for 2025. End quote. It was also added that players like the challenge format most, where a hitter would just get to challenge a pitch, not every pitch called by the robot ump. Chris, what kind of priority should this be for baseball?
I don't know. If I have to watch too many more games umpired by Harry Wendelstedt or whatever his name was.
Wendelstedt?
I don't think it's Harry.
I don't think it's Harry
Harry's his
either.
dad.
Dave?
Harry's an old-time umpire, but Hunter Wendelstedt.
Hunter! There
yes.
you go.
He was all over the map 2 nights ago. I mean, all over the map. Joe Musgrove had no idea what was going to be a strike and what wasn't. So I have to watch too many more games umpired by him. I'm going to start, cheering for these robot umps. But you know where I've stood on this all along. I don't want them. I don't need them. My life doesn't have to be perfect. I know we do have the technology. If the pitch is close, swing at it. But I also understand that way of thinking is long gone. People don't think that way anymore. People say we've got the technology to get every pitch called perfectly right, so why not do so? But I wouldn't make it a major priority because obviously the technology isn't quite ready yet. So
No.
just
surprises me with the way technology goes these days.
yeah. Isn't
They're
Manfred
struggling.
retiring?
Like
after this year?
2028. I still don't know why he announced
8
that.
more years.
I don't know that that's the actual date, but he can go and he can get drunk and have fun with Corey Seager.
Oh, stop it, Corey.
Corey.
Stop it. What
All
do you
right.
think about this? Should it be the number one thing? I guess it is.
No.
What else beats it? What else do they need to deal with
The
more?
uniforms are pretty bad, which
well,
he
they've
did
already
address
apparently
today.
addressed that.
No, I think the robots are. I mean, they're coming. It's going to happen. Just make it happen so we don't talk about it for the next 5 years and then it happens. But I do like the challenge format. I think that's a perfect thing. You get like one pitch during your at-bat that you can challenge if you think it's borderline.
And then they have a very quick resolution from what I've
Very
seen in the
quick.
minor leagues.
Yeah, it's in the umpire's ear. They tell him ball or strike, and the umpire has to either
abide by
yes. So I think that's pretty good.
Eventually, hey, look, I was hesitant to accept any of the baseball rule changes. Being an old stodgy
You were.
guy.
I remember us talking about all those, and now you're kind
going
of
to put
fan
a pitch
of them.
clock. You're not going to let him go visit the mound. You
You're gonna have
can't
a
throw over to
ghost
first
runner.
base. The ghost runner. Now I can't imagine baseball without him.
Can't
So
use corked bats. Jeez.
I've come around to it. Especially Hunter Wendelstedt. Whew, boy, he was bad. He was bad. He was giving our old friend Angel Hernandez a run for the show.
Angel Hernandez is in midseason form.
So are we, Scrape. We're rolling here. Another hour to go. I guess we got a few more in the Big Five to get to.
We do.
All right, we'll touch on that to kick off hour number 4 on Gwynn and Chris. I got to tell you, Skraby, as we head into the final hour of the show, the happy hour. It's Chris Ello, it's Matt Skraby together in our Odyssey Palace studios. It's Tony Gwynn Jr. on his way back from Cincinnati. Not with us today, but with the Friars, who are feeling good after a 6-4, 10-inning victory today over Los Rojos, or the Redlegs. Or fix your camera, Chris, so people can see
the
you
Red
on
Legs was
YouTube.
good. Tony and Jesse were talking about how they played a game in Cincinnati today like it was played in the 1800s, where they didn't have gloves. They were like doing a show or something, or maybe it was yesterday. One of the days they saw this, and that would be kind of interesting, I have to say.
Baseball started in Cincinnati.
It did.
At least the first big league team was the Cincinnati Red Stockings in 1867, I believe.
It's a big deal for Cincinnati.
Abner Doubleday and I were there laying out the ground rules.
You and Doubleday.
For that first game. But, yeah, the funniest thing of the broadcast today, the telecast, I'm sorry I don't listen to the radio when I'm, DVRing the game at home. But Mark Grant attempted to explain to all of us why it's called the Queen City.
Ah.
And I got to tell you, I rewound it and listened to it twice. Rewind, whatever.
Yeah.
I listened to it twice.
Yeah.
I don't even think Mark Grant understood what he was saying. It was so confusing as to why they call Cincinnati the Queen City that I'm unable to pass it along to any of you.
I think I
But
know.
it's called the Queen City, and like I said, Mark Grant gave it his best shot because he had obviously looked it up somewhere.
It's because of the riverboats, right?
No, it had to do some queen of somebody somewhere. I don't know. It was really confusing.
Well, I know that when I left Cincinnati in 2010, they were building a big old bank building, and on top of the bank building is a queen's crown.
No, that's because it's called the Queen City.
No, I'm saying that they embrace the Queen City thing.
But as for why it's called the Queen City, thank you, Mark, for trying to explain it to us, but it was kind of a hopeless endeavor. I must say. But here's what I found that's got me fired up for the final hour of the show today. I found a list, and who cares who put this list together? It sure is going to be fun. It's a countdown of the 44 biggest jerks in all of sports history.
Oh. Wow.
Now, we're not going to count all 44 down for you because that would be a little lengthy.
Is Brooks Koepka on the list?
Well, we're going to all find out together.
Really?
We're going to all find out together who's on the list. I can tell you I've gone through most of the list. There are several professional golfers already named. So we'll...
wow.
Some of my personal favorites are on here. Some people who take up a lot of space in my book of people I don't like. But anyway, I have not yet revealed myself as to who they have like as the top three. I'm kind of looking forward to doing that with all of you. And we'll do that probably at the bottom of the hour. I think it'll be kind of a fun segment to close out the happy hour today.
I have a quick update on Queen City.
Okay, what do you have?
Well, back in the
Yeah, see, this is where the story started with Mark Grant. Yeah, back in the 1800s, and I was like, oh, God.
In 1780 and 1790, they were settling westward.
Okay.
And so a lot of people started settling in Cincinnati and starting their lives.
Okay.
And so people started to referring to Cincinnati as the Queen City or the Queen of the West due to westward expansion.
Yeah, that's what Mark Grant kind of said today, too, and it just means nothing to me.
It's very weird, I gotta say, because when I lived there, and I was like, "Why do you guys call yourselves the Queen of
It's
Queen
not
City?
really. There was no queen of any kind anywhere to be found.
No.
Back in 1780.
No,
but they just anyway. All right, so I'm wasting all of your time with that. I apologize. Let's finish up the Big Five, Skrabe.
Yes, let's finish up the Big Five.
What do we got there?
And we just got some breaking news.
Uh-oh.
It's not baseball. It's not Padres related. It's actually college sports related. And we can talk about this briefly. NCAA power conferences agree to allow schools to pay players. NCAA is going to pay over $2.7 billion in damages over 10 years. So
That's really confusing to me, that whole thing, but I still think the whole I think the whole system is broke and it needs to be fixed.
It is. I don't get anything that's happening in the college world these days.
Yeah.
All right. Awful Announcing wrote an article about the national media sports host, and they wrote it after the ESPN coverage of the Pacers and the Knicks. And whether or not it's a good or bad thing to have those national sports hosts be so open and transparent about their personal team allegiances. Examples were Mike Greenberg on Get Up. He mentions his Jets fandom quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it's not a secret that Michael Wilbon is a Chicago area fan, so people know about his allegiances. I'm up first. Do you think it's a problem to show your fandom if you are a national sports talk show host?
Or what if you're a San Diego sports talk show host?
I was just about to say, the key word in this whole thing is national sports talk host.
Okay.
Because here, yes, Chris and I do probably talk about our teams a little too much. But I have been told by people they appreciate that because it lets people know who we are. It's more personal, things of that nature.
Okay.
National sports talk show host, I do think that you need to pull back a little bit on talking about your own teams. But I have no issue. If you're a 49ers fan and you're talking about a 49ers story, you bringing up that you're a 49ers fan. I think that's fine for me. Don't go over the top.
No, I have a major problem with it. I think you and I are allowed to, as you said, on the local level, to discuss. Look, we like the Padres, or you like the 49ers. I think it personalizes us, as you said.
Yes.
I do not care about the Knicks anywhere near as much as Stephen A. Smith does. And his over-hyping and commentary on the Knicks, especially when they're embroiled in a Game 7 with another team, I think it's just badly misplaced. I thought it made ESPN look really bad. And then you top it off with the fact that the Knicks broadcaster was doing the game because he's the one employed by ESPN. And the fact that they just totally ignored the Pacers. I mean, it was honestly like, J.J. Redick or Doris Burke didn't even know who any of the Indiana players were. They were just like a nuisance.
A nuisance, you
know? And, I watched this Celtic-Indiana game on Tuesday night, and I thought it was slanted again. And then come to find out that Tim Legler, who's an ESPN NBA analyst and, quote, expert, was on a podcast this week, said that he was told by ESPN, the network that he works at, he was told not to talk about the Pacers because they're not interesting / sexy enough to talk about.
So they wanted him to talk about the Knicks even if they were bad?
Talk about the Knicks, talk about Boston, talk about the Lakers.
This is where ESPN gets it wrong. They
we already know
about the West Coast.
We already know this. Well, that's not true because the Lakers get so much, play with LeBron. Right. It's not even funny. But it bothers me that people who sit in their 14th story glass enclosed offices with ties on think they can influence and tell all of us sports fans what it is we should watch and be interested in.
I bet you they don't even watch their own coverage.
No kidding. But they look at numbers that tell them, oh, we've got to cater to this fan or that fan or the other. I thought, watched ESPN because we felt like it was a real sports network.
It's not.
That cares about the sports fan out there and would care and should care about the Pacers as much as we do the Knicks or the Celtics or the Lakers. But you're right, they're not. They're influenced by where the dollar takes them and the greed takes them. And as a result, we have to put up with this crap. I know one thing, I'm going to really miss TNT's coverage because I don't think they cater to anybody on that station. I think Barkley and Shaq and Ernie and Kenny say exactly what they want, when they want it, and how they want it, and the NBA be damned. And that's probably half the reason why the NBA is getting out of business with them, to get closer and more in bed with ESPN, because ESPN does whatever they damn well wish them to do. And that's a shame. We're all the losers there.
We are.
We're all the losers there.
I get why ESPN is a big deal, but I personally do not watch ESPN.
I know you don't go
unless it's a live sport.
You don't like ESPN. You don't go to ESPN.com.
They're
you
never
don't do any of that
talking
stuff.
about what I want to talk about. Well,
Yeah.
ESPN.com's different because I can go peruse where I want to peruse.
I know, but you don't go. That's not your go-to.
No, my
Whereas
go-to.
for me, it is my go-to because that's kind of my thing. But I'm getting a little bit more annoyed with ESPN as we go along.
Strangely, my go-to is CBS Sports. They have some great stuff on there.
Matt Snyder, among others.
Oh, yes. Good call. Good call. All right, last one.
Okay.
That was a little too quiet. Let's do it again. If you went to MLB.com, another one of my go-tos every morning is MLB.com, and or at least during the Padres game, if you went to the website, you would have seen this headline. Quote, Skeens shows signs of ace in waiting by grinding out 6 frames of 1-run ball, end quote.
All right.
Okay, I've seen a lot of rookie talk this year, but Skeens is getting all the hype in just 3 starts.
You're talking about Paul Skeens, the Pittsburgh Pirates fireballer.
Yes, I probably should have said that.
Should mention that.
But I am talking about him. Not every number 1 overall pick is featured so prominently by the media, Chris. So why Paul Skeens?
Well, here's the first thing I want to point out to everybody. Paul Skeens was available for pickup in our fantasy baseball league. Skraby was sleeping and did not pick him up, and somebody else did. I think your hatred of Paul Skeens starts from the fact that you were too dumb to pick him up on your team. Because if he was on your team, you would not be talking this way about him at all.
Odd Thomas drafted Paul Skeens. He didn't pick him up.
All right. Solid move by Odd Thomas.
Solid move.
I don't know. I think hyping a young player like this is probably good for the sport.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they're hyping Caitlin Clark to no end in the WNBA. What's their record? 0-5.
Yeah.
But they're still the number 1 draw, the number 1 show, the number 1 name.
Games.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to win a few. But, look, golf overdid it with Tiger Woods. Basketball overdoes it. We just went through it with LeBron and the Lakers and the Knicks and the Bulls and Michael Jordan.
Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, they all do it. So I have no, Skeens is, the guy did strike out the first 7 guys, pitched 6 no-hit innings his last time. Today he didn't dominate anywhere nearly as much, but he got through 6 innings, allowed 1 run. They ended up losing this game to the Giants in extra innings. But Skeens was pretty good. So I think he's a worthwhile story. And they seem to give his girlfriend a lot of attention, too. I've noticed.
Which is smart, because they are trying to take the Taylor Swift NFL playbook and take it on a smaller scale to Major League Baseball.
But she has how many million followers?
About 100 million followers less than Taylor Swift.
Yes, I know, but she has a lot.
She does have a lot, and they should be doing this. They should be posting her social media stuff. They should be doing this to get new fans, because her fans do now pay attention to Paul Skeens. It's how it works.
Yeah,
why Paul Skeens? Because he could throw it 103 miles an hour as a starting pitcher and do it deep into the game, and I think that's pretty
not
fun
many
to watch.
guys we've seen can do that.
Yeah.
So, all right,
There
he's
we
off
go.
to a really good start in his career.
Yep.
Giants won, though. The Gigantes won that game today.
I think
in extra innings.
Matt Chapman 3-run home run at some point in the game to.
That's really neither here nor there. But
I also saw Joey
glad
Bart,
you
former
mentioned
Giants catcher, hit a grand slam against them.
The Pirates, Joey
Pirates,
Bart.
yes.
All right. I'd rather focus on the Padres and Luis Arraez. 4 for 5 today if you're just tuning in. His second consecutive 4-hit game. This guy is all right.
He's all right.
Yep, I'm a fan. I am a fan. All right, the NBA game between Indiana and Boston just got underway, although I'm surprised that, Indiana's even, got a score.
What are you trying to say here?
I'm trying to say that, ESPN probably doesn't notice Indiana's really there, but
this really bothered you.
It really bothered me. Yeah, I really struggled to watch the Indiana-Boston game the other night because it's just like, Legler said it. They don't even want us to talk about Indiana. That's embarrassing.
That is embarrassing. You can't do that.
Well, they are. Anyway, too bad the Pacers are playing, and ESPN has to show them. Score, Celtics 3, Pacers 2. First quarter, obviously. Still to come at the bottom of the hour, who are the 44 biggest jerks in sports history? Just a little preview. Neither
this guy?
Skraby. No,
he would never be on the list.
I was just going to say, neither you nor I think, are in the hunt here.
Good. I'm
at least,
45th.
At least yes, we are 45th and 6th.
Yes.
We just didn't make the list. Check some traffic first.
From the
I think it's a combination of things. You're right. I mean, I like to bet on our clubs, and it's, individual performances against lefties. The fact of the matter is it hasn't been as good as those histories, dictate. But, and we've also faced some tough lefties, faced some tough righties. I mean, it's the big leagues. You're going to face tough pitching. So no alibis here, but we can't ignore the fact that, facing guys like Liddell and Flores and, Abbott was good the other day, and Sale, of course, is no walk in the park. But we clearly are aware of it, and I do think it'll normalize.
Welcome back to Gwynn and Chris. That was Mike Schilt trying to answer the question: why can't you guys get a hit against left-handed pitching? Well, today Fernando got a hit against a left-handed pitcher. He got a run-scoring double in the 10th inning.
Take it.
Off a Cincy lefty reliever. Broke the tie. Padres went on to beat the Reds 6-4. I will say this, first of all, about Mike Schilt, and then I will do my best to answer the left-handed problem. Mike Schilt, maybe to a fault, sees the glass half full at all times.
I knew that's where you're going.
That's all I can go.
He's got to.
He has to see it, glass half full. He doesn't have to.
I think he has to, because this is a long season.
Well, he does.
Let eat you up after 50 games as a manager?
He does. He sees everything half full, but even you could tell even he had to at least semi-acknowledge their complete, utter failure against left-handed pitching this year.
And he did to an extent.
So he touched on it.
Yeah.
But he's trying to keep a happy face. He's trying to say that things will normalize. Here's what he's talking about when he says things will normalize. Both Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr., both of them, this is ironic, Skrabe.
Okay.
Both of them are hitting exactly 138 points lower against lefties this year than their career averages. Both are the exact same bad against lefties. Now, Fernando did knock in that run today. It was his third RBI all year against lefties.
Wow.
That's not very many for somebody the stature of an MVP candidate.
Someone who's hitting close to 300 in his career against lefties.
290 career, 152 this year. And that's coming into today's game, so that may change by a fraction or two. Yeah. Manny, 281 career, 143 this year against lefties. These are two right-handed, power-hitting sluggers who should just eat left-handed pitchers for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And until they do, the Padres are going to stink against left-handers. That's it. End of discussion. Those two guys have to do it. Who are you going to count on? Jay Cronenworth, he's lefty on lefty. Profar, he's already doing everything he can do.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Right? I mean, Merrill's a lefty.
He is.
Campusano and Kim are, they're bit players. Solano's going to help. But ultimately, it's going to come to Manny and Fernando got to start doing what they normally do. And that's what Mike Schultz saying. He says that's got to normalize. He's right. It has to. Or either that or they're going to keep getting shut out every time they face a lefty. We'll find out starting tomorrow night if that holds up.
One thing Mike Schultz doesn't realize is that here in San Diego, water has trouble finding its level. So he needs to realize that when he says it will normalize.
Yeah. It never did last year, right?
It never did.
We said it 1,000 times on this show.
But this season so far has had its ups and downs.
Its challenges.
But it's definitely better than last year.
You're feeling it right now because they won the last two.
Well, they've won 6 out of the last 7 series, I think.
I know, but they've won every one of those 2-1, except the Braves 3-1. They can't get a good streak going, as you yourself have been frustrated by.
Yes, because
they got to find a way to get a 6 or a 7. The Rockies got a 7.
Yeah, that's
Come on.
The Rockies got 7. And they had to sweep the Padres to get that 7.
And the Rangers.
True.
The Padres haven't swept anyone this year. Not once.
I know.
So, that's got to happen at some point. And in order to get a sweep, you normally have to beat a left-handed pitcher in there somewhere.
You do.
So, they got one tomorrow night, Carlos Rodon of the Yankees. They got 3 lefties. OMG. next week against the Marlins.
If the Marlins are going to play that game, I'm really hoping it blows up in their face.
Well, the Reds brought in a lefty in the 10th inning today. The Padres scored 2 runs. Maybe that's the start of something good. We'll find out.
We do say
We're hoping, right?
I am definitely
They're
hoping.
over 500. They're 27-26. Tomorrow will be the 1/3 mark of the season. You know, what do you think out there? Are they truly just a 500 mediocre team?
Oh, you don't want to ask that question because the answer to a lot of people is yes.
Well, those people, unfortunately, might be correct until the Padres prove differently.
I get it.
I said this the other day, Skrabe. You go back to June 15th, not of last year, of the year before, 2022. The last 300-plus games, this team is exactly 500. Exactly. That's with Juan Soto in, Juan Soto out. Bob Melvin in, Bob Melvin out.
Hitting coaches in, hitting coaches out.
This guy, that guy, the other guy, winning
Blake
at
Snell
home,
in,
winning on the road,
Blake
beating
Snell
lefties, beating righties, being good against bad teams, et cetera, whatever.
It's almost kind of impressive that they've been 500 with
They're
all the
just
changes.
500. This is what they've been for 2.5 years. When / if, when is that going to change? Or is it going to change?
Yes.
I hope you're right.
Cameron, let's go with what Cameron says. At least Arise came here and set the world on fire. It's refreshing.
Ah, it's beautiful.
It is.
He's the best.
He is. He's really good.
All right. 4
really
hits
fun.
today.
Yeah.
Second game in a row.
8 hits took the Padres a long time to get 8 hits before Luis Arise.
He had 10 hits in the series. That's a
pretty
month
good.
for a lot of guys.
This is really good.
I bet you I could go through and find a bunch of guys who didn't have 10 in the month of April.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to make time for what I really want to talk about in the next segment. A list of the 44 biggest jerks in sports history.
I've been racking my brain.
Yeah, I have not yet looked at the top 10.
Oh, really?
I've only looked at the group leading up to the top 10. We'll reveal the top 10 together, along with some of the other jerks on the list, when Gwynn and Chris continues. Don't miss that.
Talk
All right, Gwynn and Chris Ello, Matt Skraby. Let's just say before we get to this last segment of the program today, Skraby ranks 46th. I rank 45th. But we're going to give you the 44 biggest jerks in all of sports history. It's ranked by some website somewhere here, and I'm just following along. So
I don't even want to know what website this is.
It's hard for me to actually even tell you what it's just it's on one of those.
Let me pull back the curtain about what Chris does during the break.
I look for stuff like this. That's what I do.
He
during
does,
the break.
and he also
I love this stuff.
He is a clickbait maker's
I am.
dream.
Yeah.
Because it's like top 20 hamburgers in the United States.
Bah,
Chris,
I gotta
clicked.
see it. I gotta see it
During his diet, we
and
did it every day.
I gotta see if I've been to any of them. And if I haven't, I got to put them on my list to go.
It's true. It's true.
So I came across this one, the 44 biggest jerks in all of sports history, like the whole history of sports. So I haven't revealed to myself yet the top 10. So we'll do that together.
Okay. Should we do
Um,
traffic first?
Yeah, let's do traffic before we get started.
Okay.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Vicky Pepper.
This report brought to you by the San Diego Zoo. 125 north at Grossmont, an earlier accident in the clearing stages. 163 south at Park, got some police activity. And the Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows a wreck on the 76 west at Paula Mission Road. You don't need a cape or special powers to be a superhero, because every time you walk through the gates at the San Diego Zoo, you help fund conservation efforts around the globe. And that makes you a hero for wildlife everywhere. San Diego Zoo. Every visit goes a long way. I'm Vicky Pepper with Gwynn and Chris on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Is that your jerk music?
I guess so.
Okay. It's pretty
This
good.
is my jerk music.
I don't know. It's pretty good.
This is kind of a category made for me, I think.
Both of us.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I
That's
have
true.
the book. The book, if you're not familiar, is where I put people in there that I think are jerks. So there it is. All right, I'll give you some of the highlights of the list leading up to 10, and then we'll reveal the top 10 together. Brett Favre starts it at 44.
Really?
Scottie Pippen's in there at 42.
Scotty.
Your guy Phil Mickelson at 41.
Wow.
Phil does come off to some people. I think he's terrific, but I think if you don't know him and get into his whole gambling world, he kind of comes off that way, I think.
He's definitely taken a nosedive even further in the public persona
Right.
after this whole, or public court of opinion after this live thing.
Shannon Sharp, I thought was interesting on the list, being as he's now a TV host.
Yeah, that is interesting.
He's probably trying to get people to come on his show, and he's thought of as an athlete, not being all that great. Michael Jordan made 33. Hey,
I have Michael Jordan on my list.
Did he?
Yeah.
I can understand Jordan being on some people's list. Barry Bonds for sure, 29.
Oh, didn't even have that one.
Bill Laimbeer,
yes.
classic Detroit Piston, bad boy. Aaron Rodgers, 27. I don't know if he's a jerk, but he's on the all-time loony list. That's for sure. Here's one that was close in my heart. Number 20, Nick Saban.
Really?
I was only upset that he wasn't higher.
He seems like such a nice guy on TV.
Terrific, sure.
He does.
All right. Glad you like him.
Can I start naming some names?
Not yet. Roger Clemens, 19.
I had that one.
Just to prove that it's an all-time history list, Ty Cobb is on the list at 14.
Definitely needs to be there.
Todd Cobb was, from what I understand, one of the biggest jerks in sports history.
Was the Babe a jerk?
I don't know. We haven't got to him.
Okay.
I don't know. We're not at the finish.
All right.
Tom Brady is 13.
Whoa.
I think that's kind of interesting.
13?
He seems like a terrific guy. Most people seem to like him, but he did cheat the game. And more than once.
Thought it was Giselle.
More than one. I think she cheated him.
Yeah.
Number 11 on the list. He would have never been here at the beginning of his career. Polarizing figure, Eldrick Tiger Woods, 11 on the jerk list.
Surprised he's not higher, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he's some pretty sordid stuff from Tiger, I must say.
Yeah.
As far as his personality, I always really enjoyed him. I'm sure he told some fans to shut up during his backswing, but every golfer's done that.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
All right, I'll let you name a few before we reveal the actual top 10.
Remember that time when Rory Sabatini heard my shoe squeak and he was like stared at me?
Those golfers can hear anything.
All right, so Dennis Rodman.
Rodman, okay, we'll see if he's on the list.
John Daly is not in the top 10.
John Daly's pretty, okay. Those are two characters there.
Here's one I am very sure of.
Okay.
Kurt Schilling.
Kurt Schilling. Okay. We'll see.
McEnroe.
Oh, Johnny Mack. I love Johnny Mack.
Brooks Koepka.
But then again, I'm not a tennis umpire. Koepka, that's just personal bias.
Yes.
You don't like him.
Gonzo says Ryan Leaf.
Ryan Leaf, you talk about turning over a leaf.
He has turned over a leaf.
He really has. I mean, he's like the most amazing, nicest seeming guy on the planet now. After
Anthony on the chat is
reached
asking,
rock bottom.
And I think other people probably have this question. Is this a list of jerks or just people that did some crappy things?
I think both. Yeah, I think both. There's some people that did, like Brady, I think, did some crappy things.
And he cheated.
Tiger Woods certainly did some crappy stuff. Some of these people probably just are flat out not good to be around.
All right, let's get to it.
I have a couple on my list, and then we'll reveal the top 10. These are my two personal dislikes, but I wasn't alone in thinking this. Actually, three people. Eddie Murray, former player for the Dodgers and Orioles, one of the most surly interviews in the history of baseball.
Interesting.
When it comes to basketball, no one was tougher to deal with back in the day than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And clearly, behind the scenes, if a TV camera on, he's the nicest guy in history. But as soon as the TV went off, Tommy Lasorda, sorry, Tommy, just
an angry human,
just a mean-spirited, individual. I'll just leave it at that. All right, let's see who they got in their top 10.
All right, I'm
going to reveal this
Manny Machado
together.
better not be in this top 10 because people have a notion
No,
about
I don't
Manny.
think Manny's going to be there. All right, let's see what they've got here. Number 10 is Keith Hernandez. Now, we know Keith Hernandez he was the Mets. He did a lot of cocaine back in the day.
Yes.
He's a broadcaster now. He said some things about women that people have.
Yeah.
He said some controversial stuff. Let's just put it that way.
He has,
but he was pretty funny on Seinfeld. In his, did you ever see him on Seinfeld? He went out with Elaine a couple of times.
I think he mentioned the other day that he gets residual checks that buy him a glass of wine here and there.
He does, yeah. He was in the famous episode of the Magic Spit, which was a takeoff on the Magic Bullet.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway,
that is pretty funny.
All right, Keith Hernandez 10. That doesn't really move me one way or the other. Tanya Harding, number 9.
Oh wow.
That's just all-time classic.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Tanya Harding, I mean, she basically paid somebody to beat the hell out of her competitor.
I don't even...
she could better have a chance to make the Olympics.
I watched Tanya. I don't remember if she actually paid or if it was her boyfriend or husband who was the guy who.
Well, they all did it. They all were in on it.
They were very, very, very.
She never admitted to having any knowledge that this was happening.
She's very, very, very stupid.
But yeah.
I didn't even think about that. That's a great one.
That's a good one. Number 8. I don't get this one. LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Shady
either.
McCoy. I don't remember anything about him.
He had those accusations made against him, but also that was proven. It was cleared, I thought.
All right, this is not a jerk. What he did was pretty jerky. The P. Diddy of his football era, Ray Rice. Have you seen the video with P. Diddy, by the way?
I have.
It's pretty hard to watch.
It's really hard to watch.
Yeah.
And I have an issue with someone saying that they're working on it now. I have an issue with that because
with P. Diddy saying I'm working on my behavior.
I'm in rehab now.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Well,
I don't care.
If you've seen that video, that should never happen once.
No, and the reason, never mind. We're not
not we're not in on that. But
I could go for a while on that one.
Yeah, I get you. Ray Rice here.
Yeah.
All right, so they're going pretty heavy jerks. This guy here, I think he's a little polarizing, but I think if you looked at him as silly, he'd beat the hell out of you.
Oh.
For no reason at all. Conor McGregor.
Oh, I mean, he did.
He has beaten the hell out of people, yeah.
He did punch a guy in a bar because he didn't want to take a shot of his whiskey.
He's number 6, Conor McGregor. Yeah, these are like really jerks.
Yeah.
I thought this was me kind of funny countdown.
These are guys
it's not
that have
funny
done
at
some
all.
pretty terrible things.
Yes,
in
it's
their
not
life.
funny at all. Number 5. Oh, I kind of can get behind this one. And I will say that I predicted this before it came out. I just never believed this guy.
Okay.
Lance Armstrong.
Never
believed him once when he said that he didn't cheat.
Why?
Because the way he went about. I just had a feeling. He was too slimy for me.
Okay.
There was no way that he could bike a certain speed on flat ground and then go faster uphill. Like, that just didn't make any sense.
That doesn't make sense. You're right. I've done that. I've ridden a bike on a hill and on a street.
Yeah, this is just tragic here. I mean, honestly. Number
Did
4.
Should we have checked this list?
Yeah, I
before
probably
we
should
went
have.
over
Ray
it?
Carruth. Do you remember him?
Yes,
yeah.
I do.
If you don't know what Ray Carruth did,
it's terrible.
It's really terrible. So, God,
he's in prison. I believe
yeah,
right
he
now.
is. I don't even want to get to 3, 2, and 1.
If Ray Carruth is number 4,
I know.
I know who's number 1.
All right, don't say it yet.
I gotta think it's one guy.
All right, Ray Lewis is number 3.
If Ray Lewis is number 3, then I know who number 1 is.
Ray Lewis spent time in jail, but he was exonerated for that.
Yeah, there's a whole podcast that Odyssey put out called The Raven, and it's about that whole thing. It's interesting, for sure.
Oh, I know who number 1's going to be.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Tony Stewart.
You know what? I was going to guess that because
the race car driver. Yeah.
He gets in so many fights. He has no issue. I even think, I might be getting this wrong, but he threw a helmet at someone while they were racing around. He gets into large fights. Did you see the recent fight in NASCAR?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like
it didn't really. Yeah, I'm sorry about this list out there. It's not been as entertaining as I thought it was going to be.
We're trying.
Yeah, it's kind of been number 1. If it's who I think it is
can we say
is not a jerk? He's just notorious.
3, 2, 1.
Aaron
O.J. Simpson.
Hernandez.
Oh, who's number 1?
I said Aaron Hernandez. He was pretty notorious.
He is, yeah.
Aaron Hernandez made this list number 1. There you go.
This is
all right. I didn't look ahead of time. Yeah. All right.
I kind of want to go home now.
Yeah. Every now and again, something a bit doesn't quite go the way you were hoping. That didn't.
How did OJ not make the top
Yeah.
5?
Where was OJ? OJ eluded the list.
Man. Aaron Hernandez.
That was a tough list right there.
All
All right. Sorry. It started out fun. I thought there was some fun names on the list.
I can't. Now that we've gotten to the end of the list, Tom Brady made the list.
I know. Tom Brady's on the same list as, Ray Carruth. Come on. That was hardcore.
Yes.
That was way too hardcore. I mean, see, when I think of jerks, I think of Lasorda, not people that are in jail for committing felonies.
No, we were thinking more
I think of
along
people
lines
that
of,
are not cool to be around.
I was even going to name that guy who played for the Sharks for a little bit. I can't remember his name. He was a hockey player recent. That guy suspended. Teammates didn't like him. He was cheating on his wife with someone else. I can't remember the guy's name.
There's a lot of crazy hockey players over time.
There are.
Usually alcohol's involved.
Yes.
With those kinds of people.
Anthony says, OJ spent the rest of his life looking for the real killer. Don't you dare disparage his name.
All right. Far be it from us to do exactly what we seem to have just done.
Yeah.
We apologize.
Should we just start naming the guys we love now?
Yeah, I want to talk about some people I love now.
I mean, Brooks,
you were going with fun guys like Johnny McEnroe.
McEnroe,
was just a fun jerk.
That's where I went to.
Yeah, Johnny Mac was fun. He was a jerk, but he was fun when he was playing, and he was hilarious. I used to love to watch him.
Brian Kenny?
Ooh, Brian Kenny. He's in the book. He's got his own chapter.
VJ Singh is also one.
VJ Singh was I heard he was a very tough guy to get along with as an athlete. All right, that's where I was hoping the list would go.
Oh, Kane. Kane's the guy's name from the Sharks.
Evander Kane, not Patrick Kane.
No,
Patrick Kane's
he's a great
cool
guy.
dude. Yeah,
yeah. Evander Kane
Evander Kane still plays. He's with the Oilers. He's playing tonight against the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference Finals.
Haven't seen him once.
Oh, he's still playing. Yeah, he's there.
Trevor Bauer's another good one.
Yeah. See, you guys on the chat are coming up with the kind of list I was hoping that it would be.
We could do a list like that.
That's my fault for not. I should have just looked at the top 10 before I read it off, but I thought it'd be more fun to reveal it along with everybody.
Sometimes we do things that just don't work.
Well,
and I run into that all the time.
We take a shot.
Yeah.
The Chronicles are coming up next. Speaking of stuff that doesn't work.
Yes, the Chronicles.
Scraby's got you. Before I get too far and get too close to the wire here, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow we are going to be having a good old time, and hopefully you'll be a part of it. We're broadcasting the show live from Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. It's in Coronado at the ferry landing. All right. Now, I could give you directions, but honestly, just in this day and age, I don't really have to, right? Spiro's Ferry Landing. I think you guys will find
Spiros Coronado, and you spell it Spiros.
Yeah, and it's right. It's very close off the bridge. When you get over the bridge, you'll turn right, and then it's only a couple of more minutes away. So just so you have an idea where it's at. But we're going to be there for the show from 2 to 5:30. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got 3 pair of tickets to give away for Padres Marlins next week. We got tickets to SD Legion. We got Padre shirts, hats, bobbleheads. I mean, we're just going to be giving a whole bunch of stuff away. We're going to be eating a bunch of Mediterranean food. We're going to be drinking some cold ones. Skraby and I will get the non-alcoholic cold ones. We appreciate you offering.
Yes.
But anyway, and I want to also mention this. Spiros is going to be donating $1 for every meal tomorrow afternoon and another $1 for every beer to the Lucky Duck Foundation. Now, this is a great foundation. They work to prevent and alleviate the suffering of homelessness throughout San Diego County. It's a terrific organization, and the Lucky Duck was one of the organizations that the late, great Peter Seidler was on their board. He was very strongly part of this. And and his widow Sheil has taken his place on the board.
Great.
So we're gonna come by, see us, have fun. You're gonna benefit them, and we're just gonna give away a whole bunch of stuff. It's all tomorrow from 2 to 5:30. Spiros Coronado location. Don't miss it. Skraby and I will be there. Unfortunately, Tony is traveling. He's out of town this weekend. He's not even going to be in San Diego for the Padre Yankee series.
That is true.
All right. So tomorrow we'll start the series. We have Friar Friday also tomorrow. Jeremiah Estrada will be our guest tomorrow.
Right at 2 p.m.
Coming off of a pretty good outing today. He faced 6 hitters. He struck out 5. I would say he was all right. He got the win in relief. Suarez got the save as the Padres beat the Reds 6-4 today.
Career save on Friday.
Yeah, he got his first career save. And from what I told, he went up to Luis Camposano after the game, after the final out, and said, "Was that a save?"
And Luis was like, "Yep."
Yeah, you just got a save.
Real quick, another one on that list: Antonio Brown or Michael Vick.
We're looking for See, those are the names that should have been on the list that I read.
No, instead
it shouldn't
we got
have
Aaron Hernandez.
It got way too notorious there.
It got really dark.
It got really, really dark. So sorry about that. It was supposed to be the happy hour. Skraby will cheer you all up.
Yeah,
he's got the Chronicles coming up next. On the scoreboard: Boston Celtics 33, Indiana Pacers 27. 9:41 to go in the second quarter. Skraby will keep you up to date. Edmonton, Dallas, NHL Western Conference Final, Game 1. Scoreless midway through the first period. That's it. Skraby, have fun with the Chronicles.
Thank you. See you
We will
tomorrow.
see all of you down there at Spiros tomorrow. Make sure you drop by between 2 and 5:30. Until then, for Tony and Matt, Chris, adios.